Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 25th edition already of the High Rollers Super Millions. That is, of course, being played over at GGPoker. I'm Ken van der Kooi, also known as Rotterdam in the world of StarCraft 2, and you may have seen me at some of the tables over at GGPoker. And as each and every single week, I am joined by the marvelous, fantastic poker commentator. He's just doing everything these days. Final tables of not high rollers, but also the Battle of Malta events, and recently the Heads Up Challenge as well. Nanonoko, what's up, mate?
Hey, what's up, man? Oh yeah, that Battle of Malta main event was sick. I did with Kevin Martin. It was like it's some of the final tables that we've done where like, man, there's some crazy guys playing, and there was one guy, he was just 3-betting 10-5 offsuit, Queen 7 offsuit, and he was so sick. I think it was like some high stakes high roller, and none of us know. He hasn't reached one of our final tables in our Super Million tip. I'm sure he will. It was like, you know who I am, man. He was just so crazy. But anyways, that was a lot of fun. Daniel Negreanu challenge been popping off still, of course. Not the last session, but before that, he lost 300,000 one session. He made a video about all his bad beats, and a lot of people are talking about it. This has just been so good for poker. These challenges lately, it's just all over the place.
I know, and like new challenges are popping up every single day on Twitter as well. I see Doug is now challenging Doyle Bronson. I think that goes a little far, if you ask me, but it's all good. But you know what, Nano, before we really dive into things, I want to talk to you about the King 7 hand. Talk us through it one more time.
The King 7 one. Which one was that again? I forget the exact.
It's the one with the 2-pair where you said that maybe he could have gotten away on the river.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I wasn't trying to tell him to fold the hand. I'm just trying to give him some points of views. Oh, but yeah, it's all good. Regardless, GG's always doing commentary on that challenge regularly as it happens. They haven't missed a session yet, so seems like a good spot to subscribe. And yeah, let's go.
Seems like the session yesterday wasn't too wild. I didn't watch everything because I've personally been very busy over the last 4 days, but obviously always go over the results and fast forward a little bit, went over a couple of the big pots. I mean, one of the biggest hands was played at the very end of the session, and because of that, Daniel didn't walk away with a win. Otherwise, he would have walked away with like a 2 or 3 buy-in win, but nowhere near as wild as the session before that, which I guess was played on Friday. That one was just... definitely felt for Daniel a little bit. I mean, I think Dog is playing great. Obviously, he's an expert and he's a legend in heads-up poker, but that was a rough one for Daniel.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like Daniel was changing up his strategy a little bit, using more bet sizes according to Doug's tweet. This seems funny because he tweets like mid-matches. He's like, oh, it looks like Daniel's using multiple, like he's got multiple things going on at the same time. Regardless, that'll be happening again soon, I imagine. I'm not sure when the next match is, but
I think
today,
tomorrow. Tomorrow? I think they play every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on average. And for this week, I believe that is the plan. So tomorrow on this channel, if you guys just subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, you won't miss a hand. It's been fun. I mean, there are only a couple thousand hands in, right? 5,000, 6,000
they're
hands in right now.
about 25% in now, almost, yeah. So it's getting to that part where we're going to hit the 50% mark, which is when technically Daniel could consider quitting, or Doug if he somehow is down, which is not likely. Yeah, but, people are saying he's going to keep fighting. But, like, unless he gets, like, multiple minus 300K sessions soon, like, he probably will continue. But I still think there's a chance he just quits if he's just down, like, 1.5 million all of a sudden.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch, and I really enjoyed the session where you did commentary, but I do have that burning desire right now to see a Nanonoko and a Kaki commentary session. Like, I feel like you two would really provide some really fun entertainment. I think it would be marvelous to watch.
Maybe we will someday. I don't know. You let them know. We'll see if we can make that happen. But today, we got final table Super Millions time. Tell them about it, Roddy. What's new? What's the new feature?
Well, same as always, guys. In 25 minutes, we're going to kick the final table off. This is the 25th final table, and we've got a brand new feature, as Nana already just spoiled it. We mentioned it last week as well. Final table betting is now a thing. This is going to be a thing more often in the future as well. But for now, we're just kind of testing the waters with the High Roller Super Millions final table. This is done together with PokerShares, and it's very easy. I just tried it myself, booted up the client, and all you have to do is just like make sure that running tournaments or show up in your lobby. You click on the High Roller Super Millions final table, and it will just immediately pop up, and then it will show you all the odds as well for the players and their respective stack sizes, of course. You can browse around a little bit. Needless to say, the man who is the overwhelming chip leader tonight, you'll get the lowest payout in return. But these odds will keep changing as well, and it will go through the motions. You can, of course, bet on multiple players. You don't just have to bet on a single one. And then Anoko, I fired a couple bets. But I'll tell you about it as soon as we are done with our pre-show. This pre-show will last 25 minutes, and then we'll kick off the final table.
Yeah, sounds good. That's good, man. I hope you win some money, man. I'm gonna start root for your guy a little bit. But of course, whoever I pick, it sounds good. But yeah, it's obviously a very cool feature that's built in. I think they found a way to just extra step up watching these final tables. It's gonna be so fun. You know, you guys can get your bets in there as well, and you know, like that. If there's some sicko with a really tiny stack, man, there's a lot of value there, because if they just get run a little hot, man, you'll make some sick money.
Imagine if we had this in like week 3 or 4 when Micro Demo came in as a short stack and won the entire thing. You would have been able to fire a couple of bets back then on Michael. Would have given you an amazing night. Anyway, let's not wait any longer because we've got some information that we want to share. Let's go over the 9 players that have made it to the 25th edition of the High Roller Super Millions final table. We had 182 entries this week, and our first player, the chip leader, is, well, quite a legend in the game from what I've heard. You guys can see that this man has obviously done very well for himself in some of the biggest events out there. The 4th time he's playing the High Roller Super Millions, but only his very first final table. Nano, why should we be pumped to watch Corey play poker tonight?
Corey is very, very good at poker. He's one of the, part of that German, you know, when the Germans were very talked about a lot, that just kept getting far and winning tournaments. He was part of that crew. I'm you know, when I saw him hitting this final table as a chip leader, I'm like, oh wow, so he's been running bad lately or something, right? But then no, he's only played this 4 times, so like he hasn't been playing this event that many times. But you know, out of 4 times you come in as chip leader as 1, that's a pretty good deal. You know, he plays all the big tournaments. You know, this is some action from the PCA. I remember he was very aggressive in that one where he did get pretty far in it. He's just a sick player. He's got a sick crew of players that he talks hands with. He's just very good. Maybe you can talk about this final table betting, a little info right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's the favorite, as you guys can see. I mean, they're like in different parts of the world, they use different kinds of ways to display the odds. The American one, I can sort of get behind, but I always think it's a bit weird. The European one is just the easiest, guys. 2.93, very simple. If you bet 10 euros, you get 12 euros. No, wait. You get 22 euros and 90 cents back. It's a very simple way to portray the odds. Actually, 29. Sorry, guys, I'm stupid tonight. I can't do any math. I mean, this is why I can't count big blinds either, Nananoko. You bet 10 euros, you get 29 euros back. That's how it works. He is the favorite because he has the biggest stack, and of course, he's an absolute crusher. But yeah, I mean, we've seen it before. It's hard to win a High Roller Super Millions coming in as a chip leader, Nananoko. They haven't done historically very well.
But I think he has an overwhelming chip lead, if I recall correctly. So, and you put it in the hands of this guy. He's just very, very good. Of course, everyone's much more educated in the way they play now. You know, things have changed. Maybe the way he played years ago is very different from today because people have been using solvers, using ICM. You know, we've seen some guys I mentioned. Man, these guys are such sickos. Have been, you know, very different players. And some that come to mind is like Dario Sammartino. I was like, man, this guy's gonna be bluffing everyone, but now he's trying to like, you know, hang in there. I don't know. It's just things are different. I'm not sure how Corey Aldemir approaches it with the chip lead, but he definitely has the skill set and to make this happen today.
You know, the American betting system I can get behind as well is like if you bet $100 on him, you win $193. Like, you know, that's pretty easy and straightforward as well. The British way, I always looked at that and I was like, I don't know why they make life so complicated, man. The European one, it works. The American one is like, okay, if you like betting amounts of $100, that's very simple and straightforward as well. But I don't know what they do over there in the UK, and I don't know if they use it anywhere else. But that's complicated. Let's just take a look at one of the hands that Corey had that helped him to be the chip leader coming into tonight's final table. And I gotta say, this is truly one that really helped him, Nano, because they got it all in on the flop. Ace Queen against Kings. And well, the river card of his sweet baby dreams showed up on the turn. Or the card showed up on the turn.
Man, wow, this is aggressive. He did get lucky on Corey Aldemir. Is still that very aggressive player here in this hand. He calls a 3-bet with Ace Queen offsuit. And on the flop, his opponent bets, and he check raises all in just ace queen high, and he turns the ace to bink the 2 kings. Maybe they would have got it in pre-flop, who knows? But you can see the different approach. Usually the hand histories, we don't see some people going nuts of ace queen like this. There's more have like, oh, at least a flush draw, at least some kind of straight draw pair. But you can see he went with his read. It was wrong, but you know what? Sometimes you get lucky and you always got some outs, and seems to be one of the ways he built a bunch of chips deep in the tournament.
You think the Queen of Diamonds plays any role in the way that this hand played out, or this was just always going to play out this way?
It definitely doesn't always play out this way, because this is not a standard play at all. The Queen of Diamonds, it helps to have a diamond in your hand. You get a little bit extra equity when you do get called and get there. Yeah, I would say it has some significance, but it does. I don't think that was the main reason why he made the play.
Mm-hmm. Definitely got a little fortunate here, but hey, we all need to get a little fortunate to win tournaments. That's what they always say. People don't just win tournaments unless you're Justin Bonomo or Fedor Holtz, and then you do just win tournaments. But let's take a look at the man that's chasing him, and this is a familiar face to the high roller Super Millions. And if you watch every single week, you'll be like, Jay Anderson? Why, Roddy? What's so special about him? It's Mr. Gamble. He's back. The man who was the runner-up one week and then decided to come back to the final table the following week. This all happened on October 18th and October 27th. And then he took it all down. It's always cool to have a previous champ on our final table. And I'm happy to see Mr. Gamble. Now that you know that he is Jay Anderson, does that ring any bells to you, Nanonoko?
No, I have no idea who Jay Anderson is. No, I have no idea who this is, to be honest, but it doesn't really matter. Mr. Gamble is back. Actually, if you think about Mr. Gamble's performances, it's very, very impressive. I'm saying like top 3 of maybe our Super Millions besides those really big, large scores. If you look at it, it's his 3rd final table, 1 first place, 1 second place, coming in as 2nd place this time. Like, I know Adamo won it 3 times, which is always very sick, but he played every single Super Millions. This guy's only played it 7 times, right? And has a win and a 2nd place already. It's very, very sick, and potentially another win is coming. Like you can see what you bet $100, you win on him, you get $425 back. It seems based on the odds. Yep. This is one of those players where a lot of you don't know who Jay Anderson is. Maybe you know Mr. Gamble, but probably only because you've watched the Super Millions before. You don't want to sleep on this person that's one of the lesser known names, because this one's very sick and is willing to fight all the big pros, even though obviously they're sickos. But this is a new name. I think a new favorite of one of those previous unknown players that now we all love to watch.
Yeah, it's really funny because in week 1 or 2, if I would have told you we get Mr. Gamble at the final table, you'd be like, and why should I care rather than what's so exciting about that? But yeah, 25 weeks into the high roller Super Millions, we all get a little excited to watch him play some poker once again. Nano already said it. You bet $100 on him, you make $425 profit, or if you bet 10 euros, you get 52 euros and 50 cents in return. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Mr. Gamble had on his journey to another final table. And this was actually kind of an interesting one, Nano. I went over it. Maybe he's been watching our VODs. He's like, they told us that pocket fours always make a set. I also heard you make fun of me on that other show, and you're like, they never make a set. Yeah, I listened to everything, Nano. But yeah, talk us through this hand. The pocket fours with the 4 of hearts, of course, playing a pretty important role.
Well, you can see, it didn't make a set, Rotterdam. But regardless, this is a pretty cool value bet on the river. Actually, this kind of only works in like the high stakes games. You value betting pocket fours here in low stakes cash game or tournament. Like, it doesn't really work. You only get looked up by better almost every single time. But in these high stakes settings, man, these guys, they know that they turn their hands into bluffs a lot. So they'll bluff catch you with like ace king here, king queen, even though there's 4 hearts on the board. Because they think you got a hand like pocket fives, that doesn't have a heart that wants to turn to a bluff now. That would have still called the flop. So I think it's nice that people are mixing in these little value bets here, knowing they're getting called so light on these 4 flushes, because people are supposed to be very bit polarized on 4 flushes. They either got like the ace or queen of hearts, or they're not betting. So now you throw in these other value bets, and then they can't just call you just ace king or king queen no heart anymore, because they got to be worried about the little tiny flushes too.
Alrighty, we've got 16 minutes. We spent too much time talking about the heads up challenge and everything, so we got to speed run through our lineup a little bit. Let's take a look at our next player who made it to the final table, and it's Charlie D23. I have the feeling we have seen this man before. He has made it to a final table on September 29th. Yeah. But I actually thought he made it to one a little more recent as well. But perhaps I'm confusing him with someone else. So second final table. Other than that, I don't feel like we know too much about this young man.
No, I don't know much about Charlie D at all. But, the odds are getting more favorable. You put $100 in, you get 700 back. That's 7-1, right? Earlier, we're looking at Corey Aldemir was what? 283 or something like that, and the last one's about 400 for every $100 you bet. Like, as we go down to people with less chips, you're gonna see this price get quite juicy.
Yeah. Perhaps if you're feeling strong about Charlie D23, you're like, you know what? If this guy wins the WSOP side event, $2,100 buy-in, bounty turbo 600, he could probably ship a high roller Super Millions. I'll take a look at the lobby, fire up that final table, and see what's up. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Charlie D23. Let's just go with Charlie. That's way easy. Had, and this is actually a pretty fun one. Obviously picks up a little bit of extra equity on the turn, and then spikes the queen on the river. What do you make of this hand, Nana?
Well, it is a blind versus blind spot, and going on turn, you're really just going for it when you don't have a spade in your hand. I think if you had a spade in your hand, you probably would mandatory bet this way, but without the spade, it's kind of like, I'm just trying to muscle your way through. But of course, when you river to queen, it's quite an easy value bet. I think the turns where the action, that is interesting to see. But as after the bet did come along, it did seem pretty straightforward.
All right, let's take a look at our fourth player tonight. A very, very familiar face, not just to the high roller Super Millions, but just online poker in general. Legend of the game, Lena 900, Nicholas Osted. He's back for his sixth final table. 6 out of 25 editions he has made the final table, and it's actually insane because I feel like 5 or 6 of them have happened actually 5, because one of them was a speedy double, but 5 of them have happened in like the last 2 months almost. We cannot get rid of Nicholas, Nano.
Yeah, in the very beginning, he never showed up to our final tables, but now he's showing up a lot. 6 final tables. He's got the record of final tables, I'm almost guaranteed, in the Super Millions. And, he's had good performances in them. It wasn't like he gets there, gets 9th place, gets 8th, and he's out, like some of these other guys. Nick Lixa said he's one of the best. I've been saying it over and over again. 6 final tables. This is a good bet, in my opinion. You put down 100. Well, they gotta win it though, right? Like,
yeah, they gotta win.
Never mind. This is a terrible bet. It's a good bet if you thought guaranteed top 2, But I still would say it's a good bet. But he hasn't won it yet out of 6 times. I don't know, but it's amazing performance, to be honest. Like, he's very good. Like, it really would be a good bet in my opinion.
It's destiny. You put in $10, you get 88 in return. You bet $100 on him, you get $880 in return. Of course, it's 780 profit there. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Mr. Nicholas Osted had on his journey to his 6th final table, and quite a hand as well. Bets the flop, doesn't really have a whole lot going for himself, but spikes the king on the turn.
Yeah, you can see he goes for pretty much a triple barrel all in. His opponent just did not believe him. These guys, they're aggressive, so they get paid off when they got it. They know they got a value bet, just the king here. Some nits, they might just find a check somewhere at the king 9 thinking, oh man, they're never going to call me down with just the queen because, it's just a lot of chips at one point. But you got to know your image. You got to know your opponents. And this is a clear, nice value bet.
All right, let's take a look at our next player. We've got 11 minutes until the cards go up in the virtual air for us. RunCMD satellited his way into this event. This is the 12th time he has played it, though, and it's his 2nd final table. He comes in with 17 big blinds, and if you bet $100 on him, you'll make $1,380 in profit. Looks juicy, but 17 big blinds, only 2nd final table. What do you say now? Good bet or bad bet?
Oh man, see the thing is the price is so nice because it's probably you probably get better value too because people don't know who this is or anything. I'm thinking the guy's satelliting this event. is he really going to get deep? Maybe he's just going to try a ladder. He only got 8th place last time. I'm not sure if it's one of the bets. I'm more feeling the guy who's in last place is getting some sick odds, and maybe a bigger name. But this one, I'm not too sure. But if you're a Chicago Bulls fan, maybe this is your pick.
All right, let's take a look at one of the hands that RunCMD had on his journey that definitely helped him to get to this final table. A little tricky. I think it kind of speaks for itself, but Nano, is there something that stands out for you? I personally felt, I don't know if you agree, I would have liked to see him bet on the river, just to get paid off by something, but what do you make of it?
I mean, it looks like he lost so much value in this hand. Somehow the guy checks back the river with 2 pair. Yeah. I know it came runner flush, but it is pretty sick, and he's got to feel pretty sick about that. Like, how did you not bet 2 pair here? Is it because he's got a nitty image or something? Or is the other guy just a pure nit? Who knows? Like, this is quite unfortunate. I don't mind his check on the river. I do
maybe
think
check raise
turn.
Probably, check raise turn.
Maybe. I don't know, man. It's just somehow he did not lose. He did not win that many chips. I just don't really see how it's possible. But I guess sucks to be him. But see, this is the thing. If you're not winning this many chips with your 2 aces on against 2 pair. Yeah. Maybe you're not the guy to pick the bet today. I don't know.
Like, I kind of feel with the 4 of hearts on the turn, I think you can represent a lot of combo draws. I mean, I shouldn't talk too much strategy because I clearly suck. And you'll make fun of me as well for sucking, but it's all good. But I kind of feel like with a 4 of hearts on the turn there, you can represent hands that like maybe got a little bit, let's say like a king 10, a king jack, for instance, you can have a king of hearts and then a jack of hearts, a 10 of hearts. It feels like a good hand to kind of put in like a semi-bluff and then hopefully get paid off in a very big way.
Right. Well, so the thing is with 2 aces, the reason you probably wouldn't want to check raise is you most likely if you getting paid off by like a weaker hand, like a 1 pair hand, it's an ace itself. So you block the 2 aces. So if you had like a set of kings, a set of 9s, ace, kings, like something that blocks the top pair more, then check raising is much more lucrative because they have something to pay you off with, maybe some ace queens, some ace jacks. When you're holding 2 aces, it's less likely. But even though it's less likely, it is possible to have the ace still, and as you can see in this situation. But in theory-wise, you definitely would want to rather check raise like 2 kings or 2 9s.
So, but where did he miss out the value then? If you say that he maybe shouldn't have check raised on the turn, where do you feel like he should have gotten more value? Because you clearly feel like he
should have gotten more value because the guy on the river is a big nit. So, I don't know. Maybe if he had known this guy is this nitty with this hand, that maybe he should just keep firing the turn himself. I think RunCMD played it fine. I think he just happened to be up against a guy who's super safe.
All right. So not RunCMD's fault, but Romashka's fault.
Pretty much.
Okay. We've got 4 more players to cover, and we have 8 minutes. Let's move on to the next one. A previous champ as well of the high roller Super Millions, Artur, my man, the only guy that managed to win it when I predicted him to win it, is back as well. This is 3rd final table. He made it a couple weeks ago on October 25th. Actually, time flies. It feels so recent, but it's a little while ago already. I'm happy to see Artur back. He made a very good impression on me the week that he won it. I remember that my dad said that he wasn't that much of a fan, and I was like, Dad, you're crazy. Artur played fantastic, but it's good to see him again, right, Nano?
He's got 9.5 million earnings on GGPoker. This guy loves GGPoker. He plays all the high stakes, plays all the 25K side events, as you can see in his stats. When he won the tournament, he was very, very aggressive. He was relentless. He shipped it. People are relentless. They shipped the tournament a lot. October 25th, he was aggressive too, but he came in with a good stack, but he didn't do as well in that spot. Like sometimes you have some missteps. It's part of aggressive poker. If we pick people based on the number of big blinds, would you pick Artur in this spot? Maybe not, because he's only in 6th position, 15 big blinds. But now we got to bring in the betting odds. This is when things are important. Like, sure, you can pick Corey Aldemir, who's clearly probably going to win based on his chip stack, right? But you're only going to win $290 for every $100 you put down. But this one, you get 4x the value here. You put $100 down, you get $1,230 back. And the thing is, if Artur gets one double up, he's for sure in contention based on his play style. He's not one of those guys that's going to knit it up to 3rd place like Lena 900, right? Like Lena 900 never wins the Super Millions. So I think there's value here for sure if you're a betting man.
All right, let's take a look at his hand real quick because we still have 3 more players to cover, and then we start our final table. I think this one is very straightforward. Pocket jacks against ace queen. This is why Artur doesn't have more big blinds. If he would have won this spot, he would have had an absolute monster stack. It is what it is, right? You get it in good. You know, you're kind of flipping, but you're still a minor favorite.
Well, this is why Mr. Gamble is in second place, right? Like Mr. Gamble is the one in his hand, Jay Anderson, and maybe Archer's unlucky today. I don't know, but he's still in the final table.
All right, let's take a look at the 7th player that made it to the final table of our 25th edition already. Also a familiar face, Pascal Hartmann. I think it's safe to say one of these Austrian crushers. I don't know what they're doing over there in Austria, but they're all just talking poker each and every single day with themselves, or with each other, of course. Better known as Povchin, or I don't know how to pronounce that, but he's back and doesn't have a lot of big blinds, but the betting odds are very juicy.
Right, so the last one was what, plus 1200, and this is plus 1650, so this is even more, you know, so you can see a few more big blinds makes a big difference. You know, I like that little gamble. I think this is a good bet, but, you know, like he did get 2nd place and 5th place. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, right.
I don't think he even came into those final tables with a big stack, too. He's a good player. He knows with a short stack, you got to kind of just go for it. But I want to root for these guys with these really low positions because just the odds are so good.
Let's take a look at the hand that Pascal had real quick that helped him get to his 3rd final table. I think we can keep this one short because we have 2 more players to cover as well. We only have 4 minutes. Pascal Hartmann, one of his hands that helped him. There we go. Pocket fives. Fires a little bit on the flop. Nano, you like it? Are you a fan? Does it show courage?
Well, this is pretty much, look, I know you just check fold too much because he actually flats 2 5s in position, sees his opponent check, and just betting with not too much. He's just thinking, look, you had something you would have bet. You probably don't, so just throw out a little bit.
All right, next up, the 2nd shortest stack that made it to the final table. He's back again. Roon F, his 4th final table already. I will always think back of that one final table. I think it was August 9th. Where he truly should have won it. Like, my goodness, he had a monster stack, 12 million chips, and he just had the epic blow up back then with the ace, with the 7s running into the aces, and kind of gave it all away in 2 hands. But I think everybody knows that Roon F is an absolute online crusher. And look at those odds. You bet $10 on him, you get $230 bet.
Yeah.
You bet $100 on him, you get 2.3K back. I mean, starts getting serious.
Yeah, that's some sick value there. You know, like it's like what nine times or something. The Corey Aldemir, it's just something, obviously some big number. I mean, I'm not good at math, but like he's got 9 big blinds. He's got something to work on. But Artur was what 15 big blinds at plus 1200. It's a very big difference, and it's not double the big blinds he has. So you know, there's a lot of value here. You probably will lose the bet a lot, but man, when you win, you're gonna come out big.
Indeed. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Roon F had on his way to his 4th final table already. He does play pretty much each and every single week, but it's still impressive. The Queen 6 of spades getting it done here. Nanonoko, are you a fan of the hand?
Oh wow, this is aggressive. Look, he check raises just Queen 6 back. You know you love those backdoor draws. He's got a bunch of backdoors on the flop and just jams the turn. Gets called by the King Queen and binks the river. And this is a guy who's still running hot because somehow the Queen 6 beat King Queen on King Jack 4. This is a decent pick here in my opinion now, but this is very aggressive. Short stack play is very aggressive. So a lot of guys don't make this play unless they got a big stack. But you can see he didn't have as many chips in this one.
I think if you do fire a little bet on him, and once again, guys, all you have to do is open up the GGPoker client, go to the running tournaments, click on the final table of this edition of the High Roller Super Millions, and as soon as you open the table where the 9 players are left, then it will just pop up immediately. I tested it myself before the stream started. It's very easy and straightforward. Definitely a way to make the viewing experience a little more fun. Next up is our final player, our shortest stack of our 25th final table. He comes in with only 5.9 big blinds. Julian Stewart. Before we talk about those odds, Nanonoko, do you know much about Julian?
Julian's very good. If I recall correctly, I think I was reading like Poker News update. This guy he had a screen name before. It was like Dan Biz, so he loves Dan Bilzerian. I'm pretty sure. Regardless, this guy He's very, very good, man. But with 6 big blinds, he's got a lot to work with. I don't know how much to hype him up, but I can hype up those odds. Plus 3,700 is, this is 3x Artur, you know? Like, and Artur also only has like, what, 15, 16 big blinds. Like, there's some sick value here. If he plays all the high rollers, so I think he has a good chance if he can get triple up or quadruple up.
Well, you put $10 on him, you get 380 in return. You start playing some satellites, you make it to the final table of a high roller super millions as well. It's that easy. All he needs to do to win it. This actually is probably my favorite hand of all the hands that we are going to preview, as he's battling it out with Limitless. I am still waiting for Limitless to make it to the final table. Unfortunately, our production is like, you guys just took way too long talking about everything. You've got the odds there on the left side as well. I think that's very cool. They will be updated. We're going to take a look at the seat selection, but I can bring up the hand real quick, Nanonoko, if you want to talk about it during the seat selection. It was basically A7 against Ace Deuce of Limitless. We had A7 raising in pre-flop, Limitless called on the big blind. It went check on a flop of 7-7-4. Turn is a 5. Limitless bets. Julian calls. River is a 4. Still just ace high for Limitless, no kicker. And Julian Stewart bets 194,000 chips, which I think at that point is roughly 14 big blinds. Limitless goes in the tank and makes the call with ace deuce against the trip sevens of Julian Stewart.
I mean, Limitless, he goes with his reads, and sometimes he looks like a genius, and sometimes he looks like an idiot. But he's a man that loves to play poker, of course. Look, he keeps trying to get to this 10K Super Millions. It's gonna be fun when he gets here, because he's gonna put on a clinic on these guys, but it might be a while because, you know, he looks like he's still in the rebuy mode for this tournament.
All right, as we are taking a look at the seat selection, the cards will almost go up in the virtual air. Nanonoko, you've seen all the odds. If you could only place one bet, and you and we can always only pick one winner. Who's going to win it tonight?
Man, it's, you know what? I just can't get away from the surest bet. I feel like Aldemir is my guy today. He's got so many chips. He's a sick German player. I know you don't win. You only bet 100. You get plus 2.96. Like, it's the worst of everyone else. But he's got the chips, and it makes sense. He's got the skill set. Who's your pick today?
My official pick for our contest will then be Mr. Gamble, man. He's second in chips, and he knows what it takes to win a high roller super million. Jay Anderson, also known as Mr. Gamble before. I feel like he has just played very well in the past. I hope he doesn't go too crazy here in the first hand of my final table with the King 4 offsuit. As our chip leader does have a pretty decent hand. I mean, your guy does have position on my guy. You know what? Actually, no, sorry. I changed my prediction. My official pick is Nicholas Asted. I want to go with Lena 900 because I feel it's destiny that he will win one of these. You give him a hard time for final tabling over and over again. I picked him before. He let me down, but I will not give up. My official pick for our game is Nicholas Asted.
Well, by the 100th time he plays the Super Millions, I'm sure he'll win one. You know, regardless. Here we go. 2 7s and ace queen. After this hand, I want to hear about some of your bets that you said you placed down in a second. But let's see. It's Charlie D and Nicholas Astet. You know, if Charlie throws in a little 3-bet here, I'm pretty sure Nicholas Astet is throwing these 2 7s in the muck.
Charlie D is definitely thinking of it. Of course, Nicholas does have a pretty aggressive image in general. Ace queen offsuit will just make the call. I do not believe that Artur, I mean, 10 deuce is just too weak, right? You're just lighting chips on fire. So he will get away. 9-6 deuce, monotone board, all hearts. Both players have a heart. This could be a fun hand.
Yeah, it's actually a very tricky spot for Nicholas. If he gets further action, he's got a lot of ICM pressure on him because he plays a very ICM heavy game, right? So he's going to know, I don't want to get the risk. I think Charlie should be calling the ace queen here. He's got a lot of clean outs, you know, an ace, queen, hearts, king on the turn. Not really what you're looking for. But, you know, Charlie D might think the ace queen has a lot of showdown value and might not start betting. So Nicholas might find like a free showdown here sometime. So I'm not surprised he's checking the 2 7s. And the reason is he wants to try to contain the pot as small as possible because there's a ton of short stacks out there.
But it's so big already. There's 900K in the middle.
Yeah,
Nicholas only has 1.4 million behind. Charlie only has 1.8 million behind. It's a monster pot. Charlie does have a lot of outs, right? Every heart, every queen, every ace. And he
nice.
fires a bet, and he's going to put Nicholas in a very tough position here.
I really see once you switch your pick to Lena 900 Nicholas, that he's going downhill. See, I'm not too surprised he folds the 2 7s here because these ICM players, they're hard to win the tournament. They're good at getting deep, you know, and yeah, I pick the reckless players for sure if I'm a betting man.
All right, I've made 3 bets. You asked me about it, right? So I made 3 bets. Obviously, I didn't bet on Corey Aldemir because I feel like it's hard to win a final table, and even if you come in with a lot of chips, it doesn't mean anything to me. I put $100 on Mr. Gamble. I was like, he comes in second. He knows what it takes to win. If he would win it, I win 560 tonight, Nana. So that's not bad. And then I put 2 little fun bets on Artur, just $12. But if he wins it, you get 250 in return. So, you know, it's not bad. And I also put $40 on Nicholas that I almost already regret. But that would give me $340 in return. So 3 little fun bets, you know, for the sweat.
All right. I think your Mr. Gamble is a very nice one, but I do agree with you. If you're going to put bets on some of the shorter stack guys, I think Artur is an amazing pick for that. You know, you didn't want to put anything on Julian Stewart, a guy in last place. So that was a huge odds, right?
Yeah, but 6 big blinds, that's so difficult. I feel like often the guys that come in ninth, they're trying to make like 1 or 2 pay jumps. And, you know, then it's just, that's kind of it, right? And they're kind of forced to be all in. And I think 6 big blinds is a bit too late. If you would have had like 8, 9, 10, then you can always do a fun bet. Maybe next week, Nano. I didn't have that much time, and I was like, let's just fire 3 bets. Let's see how the system works. And I was like, Mr. Gamble, you deserve a proper bet.
Yeah, no, that is a proper bet for sure. I'll tell you this though, every time you see like some sicko, you should always put some money down if they're a short stack, because if they're a short stack, you get so much better odds. You know, like a Michael Adamo, right? Like, sure, if he's in ninth place, he's unlikely to win, but he's done it before, and then you would get such a sick return. Artur is one of those guys I agree with. But right now, Corey Aldemir, he's picking up all the chips, and yeah, he's the favorite to win. But you know, the odds you get to win, you know, it depends. Are you more of a sure thing kind of person? You got a bit of Mr. Gamble in you, because Mr. Gamble type style, you want to bet on the shorter stacks, aggressive players. You don't want to bet on a short stack nit. That's like almost burning money, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like if somebody has like $80,000 in career earnings on GGPoker at the final table, it's like, don't bet on that guy, because that guy's going to try to ladder up. We all know that, you know, the money goes up very quickly, and just surviving 2 or 3 spots is massive. Let's see what Julian Stewart decides to do here. This could actually be a moment for a shorter stack at this final table to find some chips. The chip leader is basically putting everyone all in. You don't want to go out first, but I think I call against the chip leader, and Julian makes the call. Let's see if he holds.
Well, and I mean, this is the beginning of those plus 33, you know, 100. You know,
like by the way, we could chop it. We are going to chop it. Yeah, that's kind of hard, right? It is hard to win ace-5 against ace-deuce. If you make a 5, it's awesome. A flush would have been awesome, but yeah, or maybe like the board pairing with 3s, 3, 3, 4. That's nice, but it is hard to win those in general.
Yeah, well, you can see Corey Aldemir, it's been very aggressive. I think he's gone all in like every single hand so far against all these short stacks. He knows he puts the pressure. As a king 5 offsuit raising, you know, it looks very loose, but if everyone is playing very ICM heavy, they're just going to keep folding despite having such short stacks. And the big blind actually won't defend that much. Even though the big blind has, you know, a top 3 stack, they don't want to put themselves at risk against everyone else. So they know they're going to fold more post flop. So they just get out of there. And this is just free chips. This is just pure like tournament poker right here, final table.
If you guys wonder what's up with the gold ribbons, you get a cool little reward around your avatar if you take down one of the big tournaments of certain series. See that Mr. Gamble has one, and Pascal Hartmann also took down one of the prestigious events. I truly love that, man. It just makes it a little more memorable when you win a big tournament. It's not just that you're happy for a day, but now you can always go around the tables looking like a badass. I truly love everything that GG has done. As you guys can see, they also did a small update to the interface on the top left side. just a little more clear right now. The blue lines, they stick out a little bit more. Just makes it a bit easier to see what's up whenever you're playing.
Yeah, I like it. Little tweaks like this is you know
Mhm.
what I like to see, because you notice it more when you're a player.
Yep.
I know you would notice it, but you haven't been to final tables, so oh well, I
Oh
guess
my
they.
goodness. Mate, I've been final table. I have a reputation on my stream that I do final tables somewhat frequently. I just always go out in 9th or 8th place. It's a disaster.
You know, if you know the transition works well, this poker share things, I believe there's gonna be more final tables you can bet
Yes.
on and things like that. As much as I love you, Roddy. Like, I don't know if I would bet on you if you give me statistics like that. You know, always thinks fours hit a set, always gets ninth place. Oh man, I don't know. It's a tough one.
One day I will get my biggest score of my career off the back of pocket fours. No, I promise. One thing that we haven't mentioned yet, as we see Roon F, basically. Okay, let's just wait with that. Roon F basically going all in here as one of the shortest stacks with the ace-10 offsuit. And I think that our man Charlie is about to pick up some chippies here in Nanonoko, unless things go very bad for him. But yeah, Mr. Gamble has a 10 as well. I feel like Roon F needs to make a straight.
Yeah, it needs to make a flush, possibly. Runner, diamond. Roon F might be our first guy out. He did come in eighth place. Man, I know there's people who put money on this guy for sure. He's a sicko, but this is looking bad for him right now.
2 outs or runner flush. That's what we need here. I mean, you can't fold, obviously. Roon F gives us the Alki emote. We do love the emotes. We're going to need one of the last 2 remaining 10s. Oh, diamond. There we go. One more diamond for Roon F.
Is it?
No.
It's needed to be.
It is all over, Nanonoko. Roon F will be eliminated in 9th place this week.
Yep, some bets down the toilet. But you know what? If you did bet on Roon F, don't feel too bad. You were getting such sick odds. But I know there's some people who probably put some money on the Julian Stewart and Pascal Hartmann. They're at the bottom right now, though.
I wonder if there's like a live interactive betting too, if they will just like update the odds right now. I think that is definitely something that they have planned. And we'll keep a close eye on whether or not the odds of Charlie are going to change. Obviously, if you did put down some money on Charlie, you're like, hey, one hell of a start. Let's see what RunCMD decides to do here. He folds, sitting on 11, 12 bigs with queen 10. You okay with that, Nanonoko? The chips are too important?
I'm only okay with it because of the ICM implications are here. Because Julian Stewart, 5 big blinds, Pascal, like, I'm definitely fine with it. You know, if I was the shortest stack and there weren't these guys around, I definitely would be calling off. But I think it seems fine here. And Nicholas Estet, you did pick him to win it. Is Corey Aldemir going to get out of line with the Queen Jack suit? It's very tempting when you're like, I got a big stack. This guy's he's in the middle of the pack a little bit. Maybe I put some pressure on him, and he is going to do it.
Yes.
Your guy's back. You put money on Nicholas Estet, didn't you? So you're really rooting for this one.
Let's see if the aces can hold. That's a pretty damn good flop, if you ask me. We're going to get some extra. Well, actually, not that many extra outs. We have 1 or 2 more queens. That is not going to do it. The aces will hold. Nicholas Estet is now up to 2.5 million. That is a little bit more than what he started with. Of course, he lost some chips in the beginning. But Nicholas came into this final table with 1.7 million. So a pretty solid start for my pick in our battle and also my little bet.
Well, I mean, your little bet's pretty good right here, right? Yeah, you're good. Both of the guys you picked to win, you know, Jay Anderson and Nicholas Estet, they got a good amount of chips now. Artur's just still kind of waiting around. But I don't mind a play from Corey, especially against Lena 900. Lena 900, you know, he'll still open some hands, but he knows he needs to fold them. If you know a guy is playing the style where he needs to fold some hands here and there, like you want to put the repressure on with those chips with the Queen Jack suited. I think I would have liked it a little bit better if his opponent had a little bit more big blinds than what he had, though.
I also think it's a trap when you're raising every single hand because you're the chip leader. You're raising garbage. You get Queen Jack suited. You're like, baby, I've got a hand. You know, it's so tempting to get out of line. Oh no, Artur is gonna make that. Well, this won't cost Artur all of his chips, but it's basically half of his stack. Can Artur get the suck out? The ace 3 offsuit battling it out with ace jack. Oh, ace of spades. One more spade, Reno. Well, it needs to be a spade. Threes are no longer good. That is not a spade. And Artur will double up Julian.
Ooh. Man, I know that's got to be sweaty a little bit, right? You put a little bit of money on Artur. You're like, oh no, he got into ace three. He just lost half his stack. But Julian Stewart now looking like a good bet.
Uh-oh. Yeah. That's the best bet, mate. It was like 37-1 or something when we came in. Yes.
33.
When we started this final, now it's 33, so it's updating actually. When we came in, it was 37-1. No, never mind. Yeah, 38.
So Julian Stewart, like, man, I'm telling you, dude, he's a sicko. So like, and he plays like 10Ks and 25Ks. So if you knew that, he would have been a good bet. Likely to lose, but with this little run here, like he's looking a lot better, right? Like, because imagine the price you got on him.
Nicholas is probably gonna make a call here, and let's see.
Never
my
mind.
Goodness, are you kidding me? Well, you don't need pocket fours to make sets. Ace four will make full houses over here. And as Julian, like, you're not happy to see the ace, but do you really want to let your kings just like check it down? What do you do, Nano?
Oh, I think I still check because you can't really get called by worse. And if you bet the flop and get check raised on by a flush draw, you might fold the best hand. So I do like that he's just checking, trying to contain the bot. But, you know, he might still lose a lot of chips because Lena is going to start betting. He's going to have to call this bet with two kings. But the river card is going to be very, very dicey.
Makes the call with the kings. 9 of spades would complete a potential flush. We know there is no flush. What we do know is that Nicholas has a full house. What does he do? Do you bet like 220, 240? Or do you just go for all of it?
I just go all for it and just hope my opponent has it. But nice fold for Julian Stewart. Yes, he had the king of spades. He blocked some flushes, but like it's so hard for Lena to be bluffing there.
Ooh. I would have liked to see him just bet very small. This could be a big hand as well. Charlie's going to open up ace queen suited under the gun. Our chip leader is sitting on pocket eights, but RunCMD is sitting on ace king. I gotta say though, ace king could be in some trouble with so many aces gone already, and I see a king as well in Pascal Hartmann.
This will get a little bit interesting. Well, RunCMD of course is going to jam. Charlie, I think what should rejam to ace queen suited. It's unlikely Corey Aldemir has a big hand to slow play here against the second place guy. It's possible, but I just feel like ace queen suited is just too good in this spot against a 12 big blind shove.
Julian folded in 8 there, by the way. Just so it's going to be a little bit harder for Corey Aldemir to make a set. Let's see if Charlie does go for the rejam or not. Yep, he will. That's a risky. I mean, it's not risky. It's the right play, but it's a bit scary, right? When you're kind of being covered by the chip leader. Ace king does pair up, so we need a 10 for Charlie, or he's going to lose a lot of chips. Will RunCMD get the double up here? That is not a 10, so he will get the double up. Whew. Well done by RunCMD.
I think Artur did it perfectly. He had this Elky scratching head emo. Like, come on, let's why no bust out? You know, emojis are still popular here on GG Network, which are always very fun to watch. But Charlie pretty sure Charlie won some chips, lost a bunch of the chips now, but back to where he started. Artur, ace 10.
I think it's go time. He actually had ace 10 last hand as well. But an under the gun open, chip leader call, and a reshove. He's like, yeah, he took 0.1 second to fold ace 10 in the previous hand. This time he is going to get it all in. And I hope for Charlie that he doesn't make the call. Because if Charlie does make the call, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. It is tempting, right? You're like, could be king, queen, could be king 10. He makes the call with ace 4. Artur in great position to double up. Ooh.
Okay, there's some chance. I think your guy's gonna be all right. You can't be too scared on these boards, you know.
I'm very scared on these boards. You know, just last weekend, play a little tournament, got ace jack against pocket fours. The guy made it straight on the river, exact same, like 4s or 5s, and I was like, oh no, not again. But well done. Wait, they chopped it.
Chopped it up. I know you're all celebrating. You're like, oh man, that $12 I put on Artur is looking good. No, you just chopped it up.
Double paired board. Oh, both played 2-pair ace kicker. Poor Artur. I was so focused on the 4s and the 5s that I didn't even see it was a double paired board. That's a tragedy. Our chip leader opens up ace queen suited under the gun. Nobody wants any action.
Man, so we're actually in a funny situation. 3 guys with micro stacks, Pascal, Artur, and Julian Stewart, all trying to wait each other out a bit. That's actually going to allow Corey Aldemir to get a lot of free spots. I wouldn't surprise me if Mr. Gamble just throws us away. Yeah, it's nice to be the chip leader right now.
You know, Nano, I wasn't celebrating the double up. I was celebrating that my bet was still alive. Okay. There was no 4 or 5 on the rear.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You know, hopefully, if I'm you, I'd be rooting for Mr. Gamble. Who cares what happens to Nicholas instead and Archer? You know, Mr. Gamble is where all your money's at.
Yeah, Nicholas is a decent win as well. You know, that'll still give me like 170 profit. What I want to say before we had some crazy hands is that like every single week I look forward to the Tuesday evening. I was like, oh, it's going to be fun. Watch some poker together with Nano Noko, learn a thing or two and just see some crazy hands. But I'm also a pretty big degen, mate. And now that I can start betting on these final tables as well, I'm going to be even more excited. This is fantastic.
Well, hey, Mr. Gamble, I think by putting these 2 sevens against the Julian Stewart here, right, in a good spot, it is the person. This is like all you. You need to root for your Mr. Gamble hard right now because this 400 extra thousand chips are pretty important.
They are very important. I understand a little bit of hesitation, but he will make the reshove. It's just scary with Corey still behind you. Let's see if the 7s can hold against the A6. Yes, they will, or they can. Oh my goodness.
Quads.
Death by quads. So let's go. Mr. Gamble wins a nice spot as well. That is the end of Julian Stewart, though. But I saw he won 2 events in the high roller week, I believe. So I think he can live in an 8th place tonight, Nanonoko. He's been crushing it lately.
Yeah, it was a good run, like 33 odd. That was looking, man, if he somehow spiked that hand, he'd been in really good contention. But you know, Mr. Gamble looking good, man. First place and the 2nd place out of the 7 editions he's played, and it's the 3rd final table. It's going to be pretty sick if he gets another top 3 spot today. Queen 6 going for the 2.5x open. I like it.
Yeah, but what about RunCMD just folding the suited ace there in the small blind?
Well, the thing is, these guys are so smart. They know they're up against a bunch of ICM nits. 2 guys with 5 big blinds. RunCMD isn't playing anything unless it's a good hand. I wonder if Corey takes the spot and just 3-bets it.
This is a fun spot for Mr. Gamble. Jay Anderson, pocket 4s. Like, you don't really like it when somebody's opening up before you. This would actually be a great moment to play a big pot, as we have Corey also sitting on ace-10 offsuit there. RunCMD, of course, sitting on perhaps the best hand. The 4s will put in the 3-bet. Let's see what a chip leader decides to do, and let's see what RunCMD decides to do with ace-jack suited.
Okay, well, RunCMD is definitely pitching this ace-jack suit. There's no way, right? It'll be very aggressive.
I think I'd fold, man.
Yeah, I like it. But I like the play with the pocket 4s here. I know a lot of people like to just call here, but I do think the value in 3-betting goes way up. 4s, if you don't flop a set, it's hard to play post flop. Never happens these days. But it's hard to play, but also Charlie can't really fight this too much. It's just, you know, there's 2 guys that are so short. I think Charlie's going to overfold a lot, and so you got way more value in 3-betting. So I like this play from Mr. Gamble. I was going to say Charlie Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, that's tempting, right? If Charlie does make the call, don't forget that Corey folded the exact same hand, so it's going to be hard for him to make one of the pairs. But yeah, calling would be kind of difficult anyway, because what do? You're not even guaranteed that your aces are good, right? If you get 3-bet there, you're always a bit nervous that they're sitting on an ace-queen or an ace-king. Well done, though. Pocket 4 is getting it done for Mr. Gamble, and he just keeps chipping up.
Yeah, no, I'm liking the way Mr. Gamble has played. Like, I was very impressed with the one Mr. Gamble won the tournament. Played really, really well.
Yeah. Like the week before, we were memeing a little bit,
unsure,
right? Like, what is Mr. Gamble doing? But then when he showed up again next week, you said multiple times, you're like, he's playing really well. I'm like, yeah, I'm loving all of it. So.
Oh, look at this from Lena 900. Your 2 bets going at it, but these are 2 bigger bets, so I guess you don't really care which way the chips go.
I'm
But this
neutral
is
here,
cool.
Nananoka. Yeah, we'll
I
see.
like this
This is
play.
kind of a crazy play by Nicholas with the ace-3.
Yeah. A lot of these regs, they like to do it with the ace X offsuits. I think ace X suited they just call because it has a lot of post flop playability. Ace 3 offsuits, you got the ace blocker, so you block the ace kings, ace queens, and then with the 3, it's kind of like, well, I don't block the hands they would fold a 3-bet with. So that's what they're usually thinking about. And of course, it's that ICM pressure I've been saying over and over again. When there's 2 guys with 5 big blinds, people are just going to overfold. We can see Mr. Gamble just open up king 7 suited
Yeah.
next hand, but I like it.
That's kind of cool as well because he kind of got punished last hand for a somewhat light open, right? The queen 10, and he loses it. He's forced to fold, and he's like, "No worries, under the gun." King 7 suited gets called by the suited king of Charlie. Neither player really make a whole lot, but that should favor Mr. Gamble, right? This is his board. He's opening under the gun. See about this.
Yep, I agree. C-bet. I think when you check, you kind of let your opponent hero call you down more. So yeah, just throw out some chips. They're just gonna overfold. But right now it's the 3 guys: Lena 900, Corey Aldemir, Jay Anderson. They got the chips and they're playing like the way they should have chips.
Let's see what Corey decides to do with the 7-5 under the gun. We'll open it up. Pascal has been able to do absolutely nothing, and he's going to give us the so sick as he is forced to fold 8-3 offsuit, I believe it was. And Corey will just take another one down. I feel like we've seen this before, Nanoko. A couple bigger stacks, and then we're waiting for the smaller stacks to bust. And these guys are killing each other, right? Like, I mean, Artur and Pascal. It's like, well.
Yeah. The thing is, Pascal has a reasonable advantage on Artur. Just the fact that Artur has to pay blinds first makes him more desperate first. So, if you're the micro stack tournament, you want the position on the other short stack out there. Charlie's going to open. Corey of 10-7. 10-7 probably will defend. They know that they can put some pressure in post flop. So, it's only one big blind more, good odds against a guy with a medium stack. And it makes a lot of sense.
Let's see if Charlie dares to c-bet. I mean, the ace is normally a pretty good card to go for the c-bet. It's not really putting the chip leader on one. But imagine if Corey decides to get a little out of line here and puts in just an immediate check raise. Charlie will just get the hell out of there. He'll be terrified.
Yeah, it's hard to check raise though, because the ace X's are still open on the button, even though they're in the middle of the pack.
Pascal. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be excited. But you don't have any bets on this guy, so what's there to be excited? You're probably thinking, please go all in and lose so that my other guys have a closer chance of winning the tournament.
I am excited for Pascal because this is like the first playable hand that he has. That's why I'm a little excited for him. He was giving us the so sick emoji in the last run. King 8 suited? I mean, yeah, RunCMD is like, damn it, let's just go with it. We'll see what happens. And he's pretty live.
Oh, that's gotta hurt for Pascal because you gotta remember Pascal was a micro stack too. I don't know. Doesn't seem likely. Artur got a pay jump.
Yep, Artur will outlast Pascal. This must have been very frustrating 27 minutes for Pascal. Got absolutely nothing. Forced to fold. Finally gets it in. Is a little bit ahead. Doesn't get anything out of it. Mr. Gamble may open ace-5 here, but Corey Aldemir, our chip leader, sitting on pocket queens.
Yeah, the dream scenario. When you're in a big stack, you're supposed to put pressure on people, and you pick up a big hand, and people sometimes they just don't believe you. And they probably know he was up to no good for a decent amount of the tournament so far. Artur deuce 8 suited. He's thinking, oh my god, I'm supposed to put this hand in, but I've already put in one of my 3.5 big blinds. He folds.
What's funny as well is that the 3 guys that busted were the 3 shortest stacks coming into this final table. Not in the right order, but makes sense. And Artur was next. Oh, it's inevitable. And since he has like no chips at all, I think I'd probably go for it with 7-5 here.
I think you just wait because you get the free hand still.
Okay.
Your tournament life still has a little bit of value, but yeah, 7-5 suited is a different story. With 7-5 offsuit, I think you have a better chance of picking up something in the next couple of hands. 2 10s going to open up again.
You know, I'm smiling because obviously we still run the Guess the Winning Hand Twitter contest. All you guys have to do is head over to twitter.com/GGPoker and you can win $2,700. I believe that is the jackpot right now if you guess the winning hand. And at this point, since the jackpot is so big, Nananoka, I was like, all right, that's it, guys. I'm participating. And I went for the 10 of spades and the 10 of hearts. So if it would have been a six-way all in there and Corey Aldemir would have won it, I would have been right.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Wow, it's actually the same exact suits you picked too, which is hilarious. Yeah, that you'll be like, who cares about the other? But you know, this you win the jackpot worth more than all of your little side bets on the side, right?
And that would have been, and we would have been done in 29 minutes. We're like, all right, guys, that's it. Congrats to Corey Aldemir. No, it didn't happen. The 10s will just take it down. RunCMD, though, next round. It's going to open it up with the suited ace-9.
I remember you asking me about RunCMD. You're like, is this a good bet? We didn't know much about him. It's the one person who satellite. And I said, oh, they're probably going to try to hang in there. But, you know, they're hanging in there right now. Still got a decent stack. At the time, before the final table started, 15 to 1 odds. So that's really good. But you know, I was saying this guy's gonna try hang in there. But right now, CMD is when you win the King 8 suited against the Ace 10, you start to feel good about like your bets that you do put down, right? Like that's what I'm thinking. I watched the pre-show. I'll be like, did they show some sick hands? Did they win like Kings versus Aces or something? You know, like that's the one you want to bet on.
Is there some serious run good over here? You know, like that kind of stuff. Who was the one who won the? It was Mr. Gamble, right? Yeah, Mr. Gamble won a big one against Artur. Well, Artur's got a decision now. Under the gun, he knows he's going to be all in next hand. He's like, you know what? We're just going to go for it. King 6, and I think that it's going to be a Roddy bet versus a Roddy bet over here, as Mr. Gamble should not go anywhere with pocket 10s.
Yeah. It's looking bad for Artur. In theory, though, if you had a choice, you would want Artur to win this all-in, so both your bets are still alive. And obviously, 1.3 big blinds isn't going to hurt you, Mr. Gamble. But like, how can Mr. Gamble lose this pot? You got 2 10s against King 6 off. So I've never seen it ever win a hand in my life.
I'm gonna remember that. Well, picks up a lot of outs on the turn. At this point, we need a King 6 or 9 or a 4. That is not one of them. So Nananoko is still waiting for the day that King 6 wins the hand. We get a couple of emotes. Look at all these guys. They're spamming good game. I love it. They're having fun with the emotes. We are down to 5. And the next payout will be $143,000. I believe Artur picks up $116,000 for finishing in 6th place. It was fun to see him. Couldn't do much today, though.
Yeah, we didn't see anything, but if I'm Artur, I'm feeling all right because I outlasted all the other short stacks, which is what you want to do when you're the tiny stacks. Corey, chip leader, but we're down to 5. This is the part when you go, I think we got a real tournament, you know, like, because there's no short stack. Look at RunCMD. He's like, okay, things have changed. I'm going to show these people up.
That is actually cool. I mean, that's my favorite hand, you know, the Jack 10 of hearts. Well done. That's a power play, man, against the chip leader as well. I'm very impressed by the way that RunCMD is playing so far.
And that was also 25 big blinds. It wasn't like a 15 big blind reshove. That was like, I know Corey's raising too much. He has been raising a little bit too much. So nicely played there. Lena 900. I would say Lena 900 is the most solid player, tournament player, like
cool
of all time almost.
We didn't really address this yet, but on the left side, you can actually see the amount of money that people have put down as well on these players and the amount of people that have bet. That's super interesting and fun. So it seems like the majority of the money just went for the chip leader. And then quite a few people also believed in Nicholas Osted, who is battling it out in this hand. But almost nobody really bet on RunCMD. But that's actually looking like the best bet so far.
It is definitely the best bet based on that situation. But, you know, everyone's going to bet on a chip leader, especially when you're a sicko. But also when Nanonoko says, hey, Corey Aldemir, he's going to win it, they're thinking, wow, he's always picked the winner. He's definitely going to win this tournament. Right now, sure, the other bets are still looking good. But my guy that I picked, he's still the chip leader, Roddy. I don't know. He can't lose it.
This will be really fun to follow as well, just to see like how many people participate in the final table betting. This is the very first time we've ever run it over here at GG, as Charlie may put in a little race here. How many weeks do you think it will take, Nanonoko, before we see the people together betting over 100K on a specific player to win the tournament? Like right now, we got 18K coming in on a chip leader. How many weeks until we reach 100K for somebody to win the final table?
Just to pick for something, oh man, it's I don't know. Maybe it'll be a couple months from now. I don't know.
No. This will
quicker
pick
than
up.
that.
Yes, maybe.
Well, I mean, I guess a lot of people don't know about this.
Exactly. Like it's going to spread like a wildfire. This is going to make it so much more fun for not everybody that's just watching, but also for just friends. You know how fun it is to put a little bit of money on a friend that made the final table. I think 3 weeks and we'll have over 100K for a specific player.
Very, very possible for sure. I mean, I'm not too much of a bettor myself, so hey man, you said you're a little bit of a degen, so it does make sense that a lot of people are thinking the same thing, right? Like let's just throw all the money on someone. But you can see mainly the bets have been put on the known names, right? The people with the real names, you know, Corey Aldemir and Nicholas Estate got the most money. It makes a lot of sense that a lot of people put money on Lena 900 because he's clearly one of the best in tournament poker history. He's got 2 8s. Oh, Charlie just opened jamming. I don't know if Nicholas calls with 2 8s. I'm not too sure.
It's hard. I think I'd personally fold, man. Like if you go up against 9s or 10s, it's devastating. You could maybe read this as a shove of 7s or 6s, but I feel like almost the best case scenario is that you're flipping. You're rarely dominating your opponent's hand here. I could understand the fold, but hey, Lena is a million times better than I am, and it makes the call. That is a big flip, though, Nanonoko. Can the 8s hold? It seems like the answer is no.
Wow, your money just got lit right there, right? Like, cause it's a nice call, but 20 big blinds gone. Lena 900 is in big trouble.
King Jack will get there. Charlie gets a massive double up. It's very painful for Nicholas. I mean, I can understand maybe hoping you're up against like 7s or 6s, but it's a risky call though. No, I felt just a little bit unnecessary.
It was definitely a little risky. It wasn't, I mean, obviously it wasn't like calling it was bad.
No.
It's risky, but you know, the Charlie shove was super risky, which is open jamming King Jack offsuit 20 big blinds. We got to talk about that, right? Like it's not results oriented. Nicholas, you know, he called with the 2 8s and got punished. The 20 big blind shove, it's not something you see too often at these final tables. So, you know, I think that's what Lena 900 was thinking, like, there's no way I'm behind, because if you had 9s plus, I don't think you're jamming. So I think it was a good read, but you got to run with the variant sometimes.
But I mean, you always talk about ICM as well. And like, even if you're like, let's say a 5 or 6% favorite, it's 55% against 45. Like, is it necessary to be
I want to talk about this, but look at this. Mr. Gamble just trying to punish the chip leader of King 2 suited from the big
Oh my goodness. And Corey does have pocket 7, so that's actually a pretty serious hand. Mr. Gamble is a maniac, and that's why we love him.
Wow. This is a huge pot, man. Corey calls with just 2 7s. He's up to, like, I was gonna say maybe Corey Aldemir doesn't know about Mr. Gamble, but it seems like he's been watching some streams, because he makes this call of 2 7s. It's a pretty strong call, and
we don't give up here, though, do we?
Yeah, this is tough.
Oh, we do. It seems like we do give up.
Yeah, I think Mr. Gamble was expecting to never get called, but he forgot that he's up against a German crusher, Corey Aldemir. So they're still going to be looking 2 7s here. Might throw in a little 25% pop bet, thinking he's up against ace king, ace queen, a lot even smaller. This is very nice.
Yep. This is hard. I mean, I feel like at this point you either just go for the maniac play of the century, or you check raise all in, or you let it go. Mr. Gamble will let it go. Kind of just lit 700,000 chips there on fire.
Wow, so I'm wondering, like, man, why is Roddy so sad? But I just realized Nicholas has still lost 2 million chips. Mr. Gamble is busted off 7 big blinds. Your 2 bets. Artur is gone. It makes a lot of sense why you're a little sad. I'm like, man, like, what's your what's wrong, Roddy? Like, it's not like these are your best friends.
I mean, I'm kind of building up a little relationship over here, Nana. No, I'm not sad at all. I'm having a good time, mate. All right, our chip leader is going to raise A7 offsuit from the small blind, and RunCMD will let it go. Well, it was a rough minute for the Ruddy bets. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you know, hey, your bets are, as long as they're still alive, don't sweat it too much. It's the all-in ones you need to be really worried about. Look, Mr. Gamble's back. Look at this: King Jack versus King Queen. Full double up, maybe somehow, Roddy. You know, it comes the King Queen Jack flop. Yeah, you'll be fine.
When you say that he's back before anything has even happened, I'm already like, I can already see the Jack Jack 4 flop, or you know what, to really rub it in is like King Jack Jack, and it's like, no, anything other than King Jack Jack, please.
Well, look, Mr. Gamble in a good spot here. King Queen gets 3-bet by the King Jacks. You know, if Mr. Gamble can put some chips in here, probably will win the spot. Just, oh, folds the best hand. This is bad. This is bad. Corey Aldemir is just running the show.
Well done by Corey, of course. Yeah, Mr. Gamble kind of misreading the situation there. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because Mr. Gamble put the pressure on the chip leader, lost that hand. Then now the chip leader put the pressure back on, and like it just seems everything going the chip leader's way. Queen 6 is bumping it up. I'm loving the way Corey Aldemir is playing. Oh, yeah, I picked him. Yeah, he's a chip leader. I know a lot of people, there's $10,000 in bets on him, but he's playing the best right now, in my opinion. He's playing a very good chip leader. Yeah, he's got the chips to do the move, but he's playing a chip lead perfect right now.
I mean, we saw that the other week as well, where somebody just had some real smooth sailing. Everything was going the chip leader's way, and then in 2 or 3 hands, all of a sudden things turned upside down. Forgot who was the guy who had such a good run as chip leader? He ended up as runner-up last week. Damn it, forgot.
Yeah, I can't recall too, but like I know what you're saying. But hey, you're back. You're back for reals this time. 2 aces cannot lose.
Yeah,
I mean,
but if ever,
unless Lena 900 gets a Daniel Negreanu, right? Like where you get 10 no action on aces 10 times in a row. I think Daniel tweeted. Yep. Maybe no action here.
He also said it in the interview after the most recent session, the one that got played last night. He's like, I don't know how he does it. Every single time I have aces, he either open folds or he folds to the 3-bet. It's insane. Corey Aldemir with Queen 9. We know that Corey can afford to lose a couple chips, but he also knows that Nicholas won't do this with hands in general that are weaker than Queen 9. So he does fold. And yeah, and then for all that excitement you gave me and all the other people that put in a friendly bet on Nicholas, he picked up 200,000 chips. Well done, mate.
Hey, well, I mean, there is $10,000 worth of bets on Nicholas's set right now, actually. So from what I recall, but yeah, he's probably cursing like Daniel Negreanu. How I get no action? These chip leaders racing every hand, but they know how to fold to my 2 aces. Yeah, I know. Daniel is probably steaming a little bit because he feels like he shouldn't be doing as bad as he's doing right now. That's why he's venting, making some videos here and there. But
that video was fun to watch, though. I mean, obviously not if you have bets on Daniel to win the challenge, but I kind of like the approach that Daniel had. I like the way that he was speaking through. It's like there was obviously a bit of anger and frustration, but there was humor as well, and I thought it was fun to watch.
Yeah, he's like, oh, of course I'm gonna win. He did the nano. Of course I'm gonna win. Oh no, I lost. Of course it's an 8.
Yeah. It's a pretty brutal video. And then he ended it with, and that's how you lose $300,000.
Yeah.
Oh well. RunCMD gets it all in with the ace king, and he will take it down pre-flop. He's doing really well, hanging in there with 3.2 million. This could be an interesting hand as well. 10-9 suited is going to open up. Let's see what RunCMD decides to do with the pocket 5s.
Well, RunCMD's been pretty aggressive against Corey recently. Maybe, you know, sometimes when you just go kind of crazy against a chip leader a little bit, you kind of just want to calm down a little bit. So 2 5s have had a little bit less stack. Probably what jam hasn't been 3, but now you're like, okay, I've won some chips. Let me calm down. Let me let this Nicholas stack get it in. Let me lose, you know, make him lose Roddy $40 or whatever, you know, like. We'll see. But as long as Jay Anderson wins, you don't care what happens to Nicholas Estet.
I'd like to see a heads up though between Mr. Gamble and Nicholas Estet. Then we're locked in. They can lean back, feet on the desk, be like, let's just see who takes it. Charlie goes all in with Jack 10. Mr. Gamble is pretty crazy, and he's not too. I mean, it's It'd be a bizarre call, but he'd be super right. Can't make it though. Woo! Charlie dodging bullets there.
And Charlie's kind of going this all-in style. Like, maybe Charlie's like just playing pre-flop poker. It's like, I know these guys are sickos. I don't want to play no post-flop with them. And, there we go.
It's going to open up King Jack offsuit of the button. Let's see what Mr. Gamble decides to do with Ace 5. We'll let that one go as well. It's got the ice cube, man. The ice cube is never a good sign in a no-co.
Well, I think King 4 is definitely going to call. And, yeah, this is a hard one to win for Corey. So it seems like all Charlie here. I guess sometimes Charlie checks just thinking, look, I know I've got the best hand, but I don't, there's queen, there's a lot of hands that can continue and just lose chips. The reason check happen is mainly because he doesn't want to get check raised and accidentally fold the best hand when there's a 10 big blind stack out there and currently in around second to third place.
That is a spicy turn card though. Both players will pair their kings. Obviously, Charlie's still ahead. We'll be a bit worried about queens, but he's still going to fire a couple of chips towards the center. I don't think... You think Corey lets us go here? I mean, could be drawing that, but...
I actually think Corey will call. The reason is, okay, well, he folds. I wouldn't mind him calling, even though it would have been the worst hand of obviously. The reason is I expect the queen to c-bet the flop a decent amount. So I put the straight a little bit less likely, but nice fold from Corey, and Corey knows better than me. But that's something I would think about the situation. But it is understandable a queen would, because if he's checking back King Jack, then obviously he's checking back a queen. So it does make some sense.
You know, Nanonoko, a lot of us have been blessed by a little care package of GG. Now, I know Australia is very far away, but have you scored one of these magnificent
Oh,
hoodies
no, I
yet,
have
or?
not. I didn't know. I was wondering, like, you look a little different today. You're not wearing your dress shirt and everything and looking all... Yeah, but you were... Okay, it's a GG hoodie, is that right? That's
Yeah,
pretty,
it's really cool. It's got some stuff on the sides, got some stuff on the back. I mean, I can't really show that, but I was like, how lovely. I love hoodies. And I was like, well, that is my excuse to wear a hoodie tonight because I'm rocking the official GG hoodie. So let's go.
Can you stand up a little higher? Let me see your little logo on your chest. Let me see that. Okay, yeah, it looks clean. Looks very clean. I like it. This is what you should do though. You go to live tournament. You go to a live tournament. Wear this hoodie, okay? And every time you bust someone, just point to your chest and don't say anything. Just point and go GG.
No, I will point. I will say something. I'll point and be like, use referral code Rotterdam.
Yeah, you lost your $1,000 here. Please go to GG and use the referral code.
Yeah, let's hope we can play some live poker again soon. I gotta say, I really miss it. I've obviously never played as much as you did, but it's been super fun for me to sometimes take a break from all the esports action and just go to a casino. I'm definitely a casual. I like to have a cheeky beer when I'm playing. This is fun, man. Talking to people at the table, having a good time. Online poker is, of course, super fun, but it's different. I just, everybody needs a little social interaction every now and then.
For sure. Have you been to the World Series before, Roddy, or no?
No, I've never played in an official event. I've obviously been to Vegas a lot, and I feel like I've often been close to, either I went like a week before or a week afterwards. I did play a couple of like the just regular tournaments in the Bellagio and stuff, but I never played an official live WSOP.
But have you been there during the World Series of Poker?
No, like I was always either before or after. The problem is that whenever the World Series of Poker were happening, it's always a very busy time in esports too. So I was often, I wanted to go, but then I couldn't go because I had to be elsewhere.
Well, next time when it comes back, you should try and come out sometime. I'll be there, I'm sure. And then like Elkie, we can all just hang out, just listen to Elkie talk and just laugh and have some beers while he's just saying some nonsense.
It's like, it's so sick that we're all back in the same place. So sick. I miss live poker, man. So sick.
Which is hilarious because that's exactly how he would talk. But here we go. Corey Aldemir, King 6 suited. I mean, Nicholas is he's so out-chipped right now. I'm just looking at these stacks, 1 million to 8.4 million. He's got no chance.
We've got a clear table captain at this point, but we've seen it before. It truly doesn't mean that Corey is going to win. I'm pretty sure that everybody that did put money on Corey, and that seems to be the majority of the people out there, they're feeling really good about it. It's been smooth sailing up to this point, but the blinds will continue going up. And the swings can be big at these final tables. I have the feeling that Mr. Gamble, Jay Anderson, he's going to get a double up through Corey Aldemir. And that's where this final table will get very spicy. I'm feeling it, man.
Well, as you can see on the right under the webcam of me, that's where all the bets were placed on 10,000-ish on Corey and Nicholas Estet. The other guys, they didn't really know them too much. I do think some of the guys who haven't seen Mr. Gamble play didn't bet on him, but you can see more money was put on Mr. Gamble. Just the fact that came in second place, has won the Super Millions before, but the other guys are more sleeper people right now. Corey, Jack said, "Wow, just going for it, huh? He just doesn't have anything."
Does not have anything, but he does know that Charlie probably doesn't want to bust. Next payout is $143,000, as you guys can see in the top left, but the pay jumps. We all know that in tournaments, top 3 is where you want to be, and Corey is applying some serious pressure here with absolutely nothing. But it's an impossible call for Charlie. Well done by Corey, and the rich get richer.
This is why you have to fold the big blinds against these aggressive chip leaders, because they're just gonna barrel away. Wow, is this the end of Lena 900 10-9 suited? There's $10,000 in bets. You have $40 on Nicholas. Charlie's going for it. Oh my God, no, Roddy, your money is flying away.
No, we're gonna spike some tens, mate. We're gonna flop a straight. Let's see, Lena 900 at the risk. All right, king or an 8 seems doable. A king or an 8 or a 10. King 8,
this
10.
Is bad.
King 8.
This is bad. What is that? Oh my
8!
God.
Nicholas Osted stays alive. And Roddy and how many people is it? 288 other people are just, and Nicholas, of course, make it 2. Maybe he put some money on himself. That's possible for the ultimate sweat. All right. Well, that's good. It's good to see. RunCMD, though, wakes up with the pocket kings. He's going to open under the gun.
Oh man, you got to feel good about that double up there. Now you're like personally invested. Like this is a lot of fun. I can see you sweating these all ins. We can see Lena 900 though. This is the guy. He hasn't won it yet, but 6 final tables is super impressive.
I have a feeling that Mr. Gamble is gonna go for it.
Oh wow, he's in trouble if he does.
Yep.
He's also maybe on tilt. He saw Lena 900 just win that double up, didn't get a paycheck. It's like my turn to double up, but Corey Aldemir is going to go for the ace jack def. Finish off. Oh, Mr. Gamble, he's still got a good chance to win with king 6 suited.
Yeah, absolutely. RunCMD just folded an ace. Mr. Gamble makes the call. And that means Jay Anderson. Mr. Gamble is at risk. Kings or 6s. Ooh. That's not the flop that you want to see. That's not the turn you want to see, but we need a diamond. Run a flush. Everybody loves the back door.
Roddy blasted it. Nope.
That is going to be it for Mr. Gamble. He will be eliminated in 5th place. Walks away with $143,000. 2 of the 3 picks down the drain, but the 1 pick, that I also picked in our little battle is still going strong. So, Nicholas, it's time to run it up, babe.
Yeah, but look at the chip stacks. Corey Aldemir has 10 million. This is a dream scenario for Corey Aldemir, right? Because everyone's just going to keep folding. But you did lose one guy. But if you wanted someone to have chips, you probably wanted Lena 900 to have the chips a little bit more than Mr. Gamble, because Lena 900 is obviously the sicko. But the thing is, Mr. Gamble did win this tournament and get 2nd place. So I'm not sure if what I said is true anymore. Regardless, one of you guys are still in. Got a big uphill battle and $40 on the line. Oh, you lost your bigger bet though, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, I'd rather have Nicholas winning it anyway, because then I get bragging rights over you as well.
Oh, for sure. But I just don't see it happening. Corey's got 11 million chips. And
it is all good.
The one thing in your favor though is the chip leader usually doesn't win, but we've already broken that curse, so that doesn't really apply as much anymore. Yeah, we're going to see some post-flop, I think, in this spot. It makes a lot of sense. Corey's going to defend a lot against these 20, 30 big blind stacks because he's got room to put pressure. And he's like, even though queen 6 suited is the worst hand pre-flop, this is what you get these flops. And how's your opponent going to continue just ace 7 high?
Well, let's see what RunCMD decides to do. Finds a little bet. Do you think check raising is okay here if you're Corey, or do you say keep the pot small, just make a call and see what happens?
think the standard is a check call. I think check raising is fine, but the standard usually is the call, just because say you check raise and then you get called, you miss it. It's kind of hard to play. Also, if they bloat the pot, you don't want to waste the queen high flush draw. Say they just jam in like king queen, like you could have just wasted clean out. So that's why you see people check call a lot. But ace seven is RunCMD is like a changed person once all those short stacks just busted, because this is a heroic bluff.
Wow. Makes a massive bet on the turn there. 700K takes it down, chips up to 3.1 million. So we're down to 4. Obviously, the blinds are going to go up real quick as well, because we're playing a lot of hands very quickly. We're already at level 35. And in 11 hands, the blinds will go up again. RunCMD, fight back, all in, Nano, with pocket sevens here.
I think it's a reasonable play. Yeah, I think I would just go all in, just shut it out. I know the chip leader is going to raise into me. I like it, because even though sure you're in second place, it's just Corey's going to raise probably any 2 cards in this scenario. He's been playing these spots aggressively. Plus, the shortest deck is, while short, is not that short. 14, 15 big blinds will hang in there a lot. So you can't like overfold there. Otherwise, you're just losing.
Corey is going to raise from the button with the queen 6. Nicholas will know that Corey is doing this very wide. He's going to make the call with king 5 and spike top pair.
Well, Corey might probably just throw out a 25% chip bet, something small, just try to take it down. There's the tiny bet. And Nicholas got a question. Does he go for the check raise, check call? Looks like he's going to go for the check call. He's got 2 pairs. He's feeling good.
But I think if Corey bets here again, I don't know if he will. Would you say that Nicholas should check raise? Because
I think
it is a pretty scary. Yeah? Okay, it's pretty scary though, no? With the king, jack, all right, it goes check, check on the turn, so it doesn't matter. I'd be a little bit scared, because your hand is really good, but like you don't really want to imagine if there's a hand like queen 10 out there. I don't know, it just gets scary.
Yeah, I understand. The reason you check call is because the stack to pot ratio is so small. If they had a good hand, like a king X, they're going to pay you off anyways. And we've seen Corey barrel off of jacks. He might just bet, shove, thinking his opponent has like a queen jack hand that will try to fold. So you kind of leave the bluffs in. And Corey is the type to still barrel off. If you had more chips, I probably would go for a check raise though.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for, I think, a very fun first hour of the 25th edition of the High Roller Super Millions, a 10.3K buy-in event that always gets played out on the Sunday evening. As you guys can see, we have very short breaks these days. They used to be a little bit longer. So Nana's going to take a break. I'll take a little moment as well. And after that, we'll be back with the second hour. Hopefully not the conclusion yet. I'd love to see some more poker. Stay tuned and see you guys soon. All right, in 30 seconds, we will continue with the second hour of this final table. As you guys can see, we are down to 4. If you guys are intrigued by all the final table betting that we've been talking about, obviously you guys can join in the fun. Just open the lobby on, well, I would say the Monday morning for the Europeans. As this tournament obviously always takes place on a Sunday, and then we play down to 9. You can already get your bets in, I think, very quickly. I mean, they'll probably take maybe a little bit of time to get all the odds going, but it shouldn't take too long. All you have to do is just open up the lobby, open the final table, and get your bets in for the Tuesday evening if you are in Europe. I think next week it's already going to get bigger. I'll be really sad if Nicholas doesn't take it down, but it's all good, you know. New shot next week. Nanonoko, instead of going for 3, I'll just go for 4. Gotta pick a winner eventually, right?
Or why not the YOLO style? Just pick one person, put more money on one person. But yeah, no, I'm telling you, look at the short stacks. You're probably gonna. It's kind of like your picks, right? You just keep lose. But when you'll finally pick one of the correct ones, you'll get a big payday. Kind of, you know, like. Artur, this is the only person you pick to win it, but it's okay if you pick in the short stacks, but you do pick some big stacks and they never win it either. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, Roddy. I'm waiting for you to pick a winner. It's been a while.
I know. So am I. Nano. Of course, guys, every Saturday we still have all the community action take place. The Beat the Pros event is still running. It's getting bigger and bigger each and every single week. Always starts at 6 p.m. Central European time on a Saturday. It's a lot of fun, a 210 bounty event. Make sure to check it out. And of course, all the streamers, the squads are streaming as well. Kaki, here we go. Big hand. Charlie is going to chip it in with the 8s. But Corey Aldemir, our chip leader, I don't think he's going to go anywhere with
No way. There's no way he's folding ace queen suited. He's seen Charlie shove 20 big ones of king jack. Yeah, there's no chance ace queen suited's going in the muck. Wow, all the Corey bettors are super happy right now, right? They're just thinking, man, this chip leader's just cruising. Good spot. It's coin flip. Look at that flop.
2 hearts. Ace queen or a heart. There's the 8. So we're down 2 hearts. And obviously the 9 of hearts is no good. Wow, the 8s hold on that flop as well. I mean, obviously RunCMD did fold the queen, but that is a big double up for Charlie. And the chip leader finally bleeds. To be honest, I think it's good for all of our excitement. Otherwise, you know, it's not fun. If we're down to 3 and Corey is like out chipping the other 2 players 3-1, if you combine their stacks, I think this is more fun for all of our entertainment.
I agree. You know, Charlie did 2 20 big blind shoves, got full double ups on both of them. The king jack against the 2 8s, and actually it's funny because now this time had 2 8s, but they won it. So the Charlie's, you know, beats the 8s and wins with the 8s.
Nicholas Osted has pocket 4s, but it's going to be hard to flop a set when Corey Aldemir also has a 4. So.
But fold equity is important. That's all you need. You don't need to see the flop. I like the reshove here on the chip leader. You know, Nicholas Estet knows how to hang in there. Lena 900, one of the best in the game.
And aces again for Nicholas. Is that the 3rd time he gets aces?
It's a lot of aces. I remember there's one that he did really well in, the one he got 2nd place and almost shipped that tournament. He was running super hot. Wow, 2 aces just flat calling. It's going to trap RunCMD. Oh, this is a flop that's decent for RunCMD too. Backdoor flush draw, pair of 5s.
Yep. Opens up king 5 suited on the gun. He is going to check the flop though. There's no way Nicholas checks his back, right? It's too risky.
And I think he throws a little tiny bet out there. Yeah, just try to bait your opponent.
Check raise, RunCMD. Check raise, mate.
Nicholas instead trying to play this as sneaky as possible too, because he like smooth called the flop so fast. Like he on pre-flop, I mean, he just like, yeah, I'm trying to make it look like a wow.
Oh, and we are all in. Can the aces of Nicholas Osted hold? We need to avoid kings or 5s. And if we do, if it's a diamond, we're good. And the deuce of hearts is no help. RunCMD. He's like, why did I even open this hand? Why did I play this hand? He gives Nicholas Osted a full double up, who is now our clear 2nd place player at this final table. Nicholas up to 5.2 million. And those almost 300 people that put in a little bet on Nicholas starting to feel very good again.
Oh, they're feeling really good because, you know, that's a running hot emoji, right? Like you're probably feeling pumped because you're like, oh man, I only got 1 bet, Lynn. He's like got 9 big blinds. He's got 5.2 million chips. Wow, he actually has. And Corey Aldemir lost that all in against Charlie, so he's actually in real contention to be in the. You might actually pick a winner and be rewarded with it. With
slow down, Nano. Slow down. You always do this, mate. Don't do this to me. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But we've got a final table again. Obviously, RunCMD is in some trouble. He's going to let the 6-9 go. So Nicholas picks up the walk as well with 10-3. That feels really good. Wow, this is fun. What an amazing way to start the second hour. What an amazing way to start the second hour.
There's a chance Nicholas Estet just has 10 million chips. Imagine Nicholas Estet 3 bets. Corey Aldemir's like, you know what? I know you're a sicko. I just make some moves with 2 9s and just rejams. But RunCMD is going to spice things up a bit because I think if RunCMD did not have the ace-8 suited, these other 2 guys would just clash huge. But Nicholas should probably just reshove this hand, I imagine. Well, so Corey's going to be able to get away from the 2 9s. I know he probably still thinks there's a chance he's ahead, but like this could have been huge. But this is still a huge pot for Lena 900.
Yep. Also for RunCMD though. Let's not make it all about Nicholas.
Come on, where's your $40 on? The RunCMD's only got $1,500 in bets going on.
I'm neutral. I'm neutral, Nano. Corey is really thinking about it though. He's not letting go yet of the 9s. Obviously, if RunCMD gets a double up here, he picks up some extra chips, of course, because Corey also put in a 240K.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta lay that on the 2-9s. Just a little too weak.
Here we go.
Oh,
No ace yet. There is a backdoor. Backdoor is dead. It's an ace and an ace only for RunCMD, or he will be bamboozled. And he is bamboozled. Nicholas Elstad picks up even more chips as we are now down to 3. Good job by RunCMD. He walks away with $176,000 tonight. It's all about these 3. And Charlie still has a good stack as well. Definitely got a little bit lucky twice with his 8s holding. And of course, the King Jack beating the 8s. But who cares, Nano? He's still in there. Top 3. Pretty good run.
I can't believe Lena 900 has 6.5 million. Not too long ago, had 900,000 chips and is closing in on the chip lead too. Wow. And Lena 900 has been impressive in terms of just the pure performances. 6 final tables, a second place,
A record amount of final tables, like you said before. Nobody else in the history of the High Roller Super Millions, we've now been running for 25 weeks, has had more final tables than Nicholas Osted.
Yeah, it's amazing, and Nicholas Osted hasn't gained 9th place, and he's top spots. This guy is the most consistent. I told you about these sickos, right? Like the European, Roon F, and Nicholas Osted. But actually, of all those guys, only Nicholas Osted has performed really well. I would say the other guys have been getting 5th place, 6th, 7th, 4th. But Nicholas Osted, he's like a cream. Like they play a very similar style, all those guys. But this one has been really just showing off a bit more, and 7-5 is raising it up.
Yep, I was about to say, well, look at this. Nicholas is like, I've got the chips. I can fight back right now, Corey. Corey is going to be forced to let this one go. Nicholas is really creeping up on him. Queen Jack for our chip leader.
Yeah, so actually we have a situation where the stack sizes are actually quite large for everyone. Even Charlie's got like, 30 big blinds. There's going to be a more of a grindy game, I imagine. More post flop, more some little pre flop, some action. In Charlie, so far, kind of just okay. I was going to say Charlie hasn't been crazy, but this is crazy. 8-6 offsuit, just YOLO putting in so many chips. Wow, nice.
We are seeing some really fun hands tonight, and just a couple of crazy moves. This has definitely not been a boring final table, that's for sure.
Yeah, it feels like every time someone busts out, someone just goes crazy. Like we saw RunCMD, he survived the micro stack tournament and just starts 3-bet shoving like some weaker hands. Like, and you can see Charlie here is just like, yeah, I just saw RunCMD donk off with the King 5 suited, a bunch of chips to Lena 900, and just going for it. This has been fun, like you said. Both people with a little pair.
I totally missed the free rolls, Nanonoko. We have free rolls running. I've been so crazy, and I've been so focused on everything else. I think they've already started. Hopefully a couple of you guys did make it in.
But I think they've been typing in a little bit in the chat for us.
Okay.
So not too worried, but yeah. No, ever since the final table betting, I know you've been super invested. Like I can't see anything but the chips and one guy specifically.
No. I don't know. It's just we're having so much fun, and I actually I didn't scroll down, so I didn't see the message. But hopefully, some of you guys have been battling it out for those tournament tickets that we are giving away. Of course, it's a crazy time over at GGPoker. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that there are still daily satellites running to make it into the World Series of Poker main event. It's a bit different this year. There's basically a European edition and an American edition, and in the end, they're going to battle it out with each other. Just keep a close eye on it. It's always running in the client. It's too much poker these days, Nanonoko. It's a good thing, but there's just too much poker. It's everywhere. So many tournaments, so many different series going on all the time.
Yeah, and challenges, of course, like we've been saying. And now I like it though. It's fun. You got something a bit for everyone to do, but like GG has done it again. They've somehow added something new to make poker extra exciting, right? The emojis was a big one, and I think that's a lot of people have a lot of fun with that. Snap cams maybe not as popular on the high roller scene because like it's just how they are. But I think in the games you play a bit more, like it's much more fun. And then the final table betting, like this is definitely going to get people who love to sweat. Like the thing is, a lot of people they follow the action. they're like, okay, I'll check out who won, kind of thing, right? But no, now people are gonna be invested to watch the whole final table, right? If you put a little bit of money in, you want to see if your guy donked it off or not.
Nicholas is going to throw in a very tiny bet here on the river. To touch on the snap cams real quick, there was a little issue with people who also have OBS installed. Do you know what OBS is? No.
Yeah, the streaming software.
Exactly. There was a little issue with, for some reason, if you had a certain edition of OBS, I don't know what patch it was exactly, it wouldn't boot up your GG client anymore. And I had this as well. It's like, what's happening? Why can't I play? Oh, Kings for Nicholas. Oh my goodness, Charlie's got ace queen. Well, we'll save that story for a rainy day.
No one cares about that story. This is your guy potentially having 10 million chips in the chip lead going into heads up, knowing Charlie's maybe just blast it off.
Well, he's going to put in a very big 3-bet. Nicholas is going to be more than happy to see that. We have seen him try to trap with the aces, but I think you can just reshove the kings here. And that's what Nicholas does. Charlie makes the call immediately. A monster pot. Will the kings hold? So far, it's looking pretty good.
Oh my God. Roddy has picked a winner potentially.
Yo, there we go. Nicholas gets the massive, well, not a double up, but he just takes down a monster pot. Charlie gets eliminated in third place, walks away with $217,000. Has been fun to watch, made a couple of crazy plays, but we are heads up between Nano's pick and Roddy's pick. Fight, mate. Let's get it on.
Wow. So we actually are going to pick a winner today, one of us for sure. This is fun. And not only is it fun, you've also put, these are the two guys with the most bets on there. $10,000 of people have put in bets, like same amount of people probably bet, about 250 to 300 runner people. And it's sick. And the thing is, it's funny. I expected Corey Aldemir to have the chip lead. It's actually Nicholas Estet, who had 900,000 chips, got in 10-9 suit against ace-9 suit, hit a straight, and is somehow the chip leader. He's obviously an amazing player. This is a good match. This is two guys with deep stacks. They're playing 50 big blinds minimum. And you have $40, you said, on Lena 900. Is that right? And how much will you win if he does ship the tournament?
Okay, I left my phone on the stairs, but I believe it was, I put in $40 and I think I get $345 in return, something among those lines.
That's nice value. I wish you, like, the thing, I'm a little torn because I want the pick I picked to win, but I want you to win your first bet, right? Because it almost seems like it's meant to be. It's the first time PokerShares has the final table betting. Roddy wins it. Like, it makes a lot of sense. But you know what? Regardless, we're gonna have fun watching this. Everyone's gonna have it because this is two good players going for it.
Yep. And what a comeback by Nicholas. If you guys tune in a little bit later, Nicholas lost a very big pot early on with pocket eights against King Jack for 40 big blinds, 4 million chips. He was down to 900K, and he has really turned it around. He's at 10.7 million at this point. He's going to make the call here with the King 4. Does not flop anything. Corey does make middle pair.
Here's the 9-3 suit. You know, we do have a lot of chips, but we know these guys are capable of big bets and can close it out quickly. But in general, with this many big blinds, things should be a bit grindy for a bit. But, you know, we've always seen some fast heads up matches. I don't know if today is going to be what it's going to be like, but it'll be fun. But I feel like we got the heads up pretty quickly today. I don't know why. It seems like people just busted left and right.
Yeah, once again, I think it just took a long time to reach the final table because we already entered this final table at a pretty high level and we had a lot of shorter stacks. I mean, the last 4 players, so Artur came in as 6th place and he only had 15 bigs, and then Pascal had 12, Roon F had 9, and Julian had 6. Yeah, you're always going to lose a couple of players very quickly.
To be fair, though, like, there were the King 5 suited hand, like, that guy lost a lot of chips in that hand. That would stretch things out a bit more, right? Yeah. And obviously, Charlie lost a lot of chips of ace queen against the 2 kings there. That wasn't like a 20 big blind. That was like 30, 40 big blinds gone. So it does make sense that's why we are here a little bit quicker than normal. But okay, 9 deuce suit. Man, your guys are running hot. I can't believe Roddy might have picked a winner today and it's going to get rewarded.
I don't want to get too excited yet. Let's see what Corey decides to do here with ace 8. There was another week where it really did look like I picked a winner. And then it was Ole Shemion, I think, who ruined it all for me. I don't know who it was. But by the way, why did Corey just make the call with ace-8? What is happening over here?
Well, he is up. I don't mind it because he is up against a lot of draws. 7-8, 2 clubs, 10-7. There's actually a lot. It's heads up poker. I don't think he was looking to call a river bet though.
Okay.
But you know, I guess you don't mind, right? Because Nicholas Estet is out chipping a bunch right now.
Yeah, almost takes a 2-1 lead. It's going to be hard to win this one, though. Nicholas did make bottom pair, but obviously Corey has mid pair. What a beautiful 9 on the turn, you know. 6 is of no help to Nicholas. Corey is still in the lead.
Yeah. So let's see, Corey. I think the standards to check. Otherwise, if he bets, he's looking to just check back the river. He does check, and Nicholas is that, you know, some people they turn their hands into bluffs. So it looks like he's not going to, because he would have lost some chips for sure. But I wouldn't have fault him if he potentially turned his hand into a bluff with a 5, because you're like, oh man, there's so many more overcards. So maybe I can represent a big hand. Corey here is going to value bet, and I doubt the 9-5 is going to look it up.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. I see no reason to do it. I feel like if you have to think really, really hard about what your opponent could possibly have that you beat, then I think it's better to let it go. You know, it's like, I'm really stretching here. It's like you look for the 1 or 2 combos where it's like, if he's betting that, he would probably play that. It's like, no, let it go. Nicholas is going to open it up though with ace-8 suited. He will get called by Corey. And flops mid pair once again.
Well, he is going to check. Corey doesn't have anything. You know, it's Corey. Isn't that Cocky T's first name? I believe. I think Cocky T's. He's a Corey as well. I think he's a Corey Turk or something like that. These Corys, man, they've been just showing up lately on this GG network.
Yeah, no, you're right. Corey Turker, Cocky T.
Yeah,
Give him. He didn't follow Corey. Man, Kakati is so funny. Every single time I listen to him, he's so brutal. And yeah, whenever he doesn't like somebody, oh my goodness, this could be a big pot. We'll save that. Kings against King Jack, as we are heads up here at the High Roller Super Millions.
Okay, go ahead. There's nothing happening on this flop.
What a flop. What a flop, guys. Yeah, whenever he's commentating the heads up food between Daniel and Doug, it's just like, if he doesn't like somebody, some people go a bit out of their way. Be like, you know, they're not a fan. But he just wants everyone to know that he's really not a fan of someone. And he just like repeats it a couple times. And and he's so honest as well, which I love, because he was talking about, I don't know, I think it had to do with bet sizing when they have a little interview. This is the good thing about watching the Heads Up Feud on GGPoker's YouTube channel. They always have a little call-in segment with Daniel at the end. Had Dog on one time as well. But pretty much all the time it's Daniel makes a little visit. And he's like, hey, Daniel, have you thought about doing this? I think it had to do with overbetting, like the 1.5. And then Daniel's like, what have you been watching today? It's like, I did that all the time. Kaki's like, oh, man, I'm sorry. We were just talking shit with each other. And I was like, I love that. That's so funny. Anyway, back to the action. What a flop for Corey Aldemir here.
Yeah, that's what a turn, actually. Yeah. Because that's going to bring some action in. And Nicholas Estet obviously has the best hand now.
I have to admit, I'm a little bit worried, because there are an insane amount of river cards that are good here for Corey Aldemir. Obviously, every club, every deuce, every ace, every 4. Too many out syndrome, though. That's still very real, isn't it? Nicholas puts in the check raise.
Well, the raise in position, not check raise, but it is.
Sorry.
No worries. But yeah, I like the raise because against a small bet, you just want to charge all the draws. There's a lot of cards you don't want to see, like a 4, an ace, a 6. That's a good card for him. Very, very.
How do you hold? How do you hold?
And the thing
how am I going to explain to my children that Corey Aldemir lost this hand on the flop? Like, if you have like these, how do you explain that, Neranaka?
And the thing is, Corey might still lose some chips. And he looks like he's actually putting a block bet out there. A very interesting play. Can Nicholas Estet raise here for value? I think so, unless he's getting feels like he's getting super debated here. Like, this is a 10% lead on the river card.
A 2 big line bet, man. Nicholas is not afraid at all. He will put in the raise.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, just don't let your opponent get away with this. Plus, if your opponent's block betting like a the worst 10, very possible. And wow, look at
Oh,
this.
it worked. Corey pays it off with the deuces. Nicholas Osted wins another big pot, and he now chips up to 14.5 million. And he's got my favorite hand as well. It's not the right suit, but check 10 of clubs. Next hand, I want to see him get pocket tens.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you feel a little greedy? Like, do you just want like this match to last as long as possible until he gets 10 of hearts and 10 of spades and didn't go for it, no matter what his opponent has? Like, or do you just lock up the little side bet you have on poker shares? I'd wait it out, right, Roddy?
I waited out, mate. For my part, Corey chips up to 7 million. As long as he gets a pocket nines, pocket nines against pocket tens, 10 of spade, 10 of heart. We just win it all today. Roddy's. See you at the Oma tables tonight, guys.
Okay, so is it safe to say your guy is going to win the tournament? I mean, look at these chip stacks. There's no way Nicholas can lose now. I mean, look at this situation. I mean, actually,
you're asking me that while he has ace 7 against ace 8, Nananoko.
Oh
my
no,
goodness, we
mind.
get the call. Could be it, guys, but Nicholas has said we'll need some help. He has been running hot, and that is a horrible flop. My goodness.
Okay, he's back. He's back. He can hit a
he's
9 or
back.
5.
A 9 or a 5, and that is not going to be it, though. So we do get a double up. And Corey is going to give us the running hot. Well, we have a match on our hands. He needs to win with pocket tens anyway, Nana.
Yeah. I was going to say, I take back what I said about Nicholas about going to ship this tournament. Like that spices things up when the body gets a full double up back in contention. Queen 4. Okay, a little bet. I think the Queen 6 might continue. They always see these high stakes players.
All the back doors. All the back doors, mate.
Yeah.
He's like, this is an amazing flop for me. Diamonds are live. I can still make a straight. This doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, and you see, that's why you see the check raise. And that's the card where you just keep firing. That's, the back doors. You just can't unsee them once you see it.
Diamonds obviously are very live. And with a 7, we now make a straight 2. And of course, a 6 is still good. Let's not forget about that. You gotta let it go. Well done by Nicholas. I think he played the hand very well.
Yeah, and okay, he's cementing that chip lead. It's very nice. I'm thinking I don't Lena's 6 times the charm, right? This is a 6-5 table, 6 times the charm. Not the 3rd, not the 4th, not the 5th, but the 6th time is really it. 10 deuce suited. He's got top, and he's gonna get action here. His opponent has a straight draw and an overcard.
Mm-hmm. While I was opening up the lobby before this final table started, and I was thinking of like, okay, well, I'm going to put on a couple fun bets just to see how the system works. I had your voice in my head. You're like, Nicholas is never going to win this tournament, man. He keeps making final table. He's never going to win it. I was like, you know what? No, Cole. Eventually, you will be wrong too. So I was like, put in a little 40. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
That's pretty funny, though. Like you're about to click the bet button and then my voice just pops up. Don't do it. He's been here 6 times. He hasn't won it yet.
Yeah, but that just makes me want to do it even more because that's a double victory. You're wrong too. King deuce versus a3. Blinds just went up again. 70k small blind, 140 big. Now they go up again actually. 80k to 160. Queen Jack suited is a beautiful hand in heads up, but will not get any action. Oh Ace King suited, pocket jacks. I mean,
this could be it.
Send it in. Send it into the middle.
It's going in 100%. There's no way all the chips don't get in. Can you hit an ace or king to just lock this up that wins for everyone? Whew. This is a big pot.
A lot of people out there are very nervous at this point. Imagine, I guess somebody must have picked ace king of hearts as the winning hand as well.
100%. This is jackpot hand right now, potentially.
Well, guys, here we go. If an ace or a king comes and we don't see any jacks, then Nicholas Osted will win the tournament. That is not there yet, but the hearts are live. An ace king or a heart for Nicholas to seal it all up.
Oh my goodness. God. How did he not win it? I mean, look at that flop. It almost was destiny, right? Now they're even in chips.
That is insane. What a hold. Once again, man, too many outs. That too many outs thing is so real in No limit hold'em. I feel like in Oma it's good to have too many outs, but in no limit it just seems really bad. You need like 6 to 8 outs. But
Oh
if you
my
have like
god! Can you
half the deck,
there's some guys out there with the ace king of hearts and like, we've got it,
yeah,
we've won the jackpot today, and it just slipped away. And then the other guys, all the leader 900 betters, we got it, we won it, we won the poker shares betting, and it just slips away. Oh my god, that was the hand where a bunch of monies was just going to be paid out.
yeah. Oh, I gotta say, it feels a little sad right now. I didn't think I'd be disinvested, but it's not even about the bet. It's about my guy beating your guy, and now you're just getting lucky again on the river as well. As Corey makes a pair of queens, and it's a pretty big pot already, 1.8 million in the middle. And I think if he bets small, Nicholas will probably pay it off.
Yeah, we'll see. Corey might size in a way where he thinks a 10 would call too, so he might throw in at least 1 million. Yeah, it does make sense. He's kind of representing a queen or nothing, and Nicholas knows this. The question is, what does he put his opponent on? And because he would expect the 5 to continue betting turn. Yeah, it's a tough spot. It's really tough.
Man, I always feel like when you're playing heads up and you're so close to winning the tournament, and then you don't get there. Now you gotta just reset the button again, and you're instead of winning it, all of a sudden you're 50-50, and you had a big chip lead before as well. It's mentally a little bit difficult, I think, if you're Nicholas. It's like, come on, just let me win it.
God.
Nicholas makes the call with the 8s, and he will receive the bad news that he's wrong. And the tables have turned. Corey is once again the chip leader, as he's now up to 11 million, and Nicholas is down to 6.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. Because and also after he makes that call and then loses, now he's feeling really bad because he not like a couple minutes ago he was about to ship the tournament.
Yeah.
Now he's feeling like he's we know he doesn't really get tilted though, but you feel if you're down in the ground you hear, you're just punching the screen right now. You're just thinking, oh my god, how is this guy getting so lucky against me? Why am I not winning when I feel like I should be winning? And Nicholas, it's another pot where he might lose a couple 100,000 chips. He just ace high.
Yep. Do you think that? Let's see what Corey decides to do here. Actually, Corey may feel like he needs to bet.
I like it though. Actually, even though he's got the best hand in the spot, ace high often does. His opponent might pick up a pair of 7s or something. They probably can't really call too because of the board run out. I think he does a very nice play there.
Well, definitely a big shift in momentum. Felt like it was almost over before. Ace-7 against ace-8. Corey is like, all right, we're staying alive. And then you get the monster pot with the jacks versus the ace-king. 1 million outs for Nicholas, but he does not get there.
And it's funny because ever since this final table, like you're a changed commentator. It's like I can feel the emotions. Like you're trying to be like not too sad, but like, and you get excited. This is fun. I like it. It's really it mixes things up.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, winning the bet would be fun. I just want to pick a winner as well, so you can stop giving me such a hard time about only picking one winner. And I got so close, Nanonoko, but I don't know. It's not over yet. We're in till the bitter end. Nicholas is a fighter, a true veteran of online poker. Wow.
I actually think Nicholas should be able to win this pot. He just throws another bet in there. 6-5 while picks up a straight draw. It's not a good straight draw, so probably would just lay it down. Throw in 900K. Put the pressure on.
Make it more. 1 million.
More, yeah.
This is what Nicholas puts in the middle. Let's see what Corey decides to do with bottom pair and a gut shot. But like you said, not a very good straight draw.
Yeah, because sometimes you hit the 8, but then your opponent has a 10, which will lose you more chips. So you think about the reverse implied odds in some spots to kind of help you decide whether to continue or not to.
You know what's incredibly cool about GG as well is that they obviously always have the daily leaderboards running, right? And it's fun as well because once you start playing for a couple hours, you take a look at the leaderboard, and you're like, I can pick up some extra money, And I was, like I said last week, I've been playing quite a bit of short deck. I won't call it 6+ anymore, Nano, don't worry. And it's actually kind of easy to make the leaderboards at short deck because there aren't that many people playing short deck yet. So, you can often walk away with an extra $30-$40 just by playing a couple of hours of your respective limit. It's really cool. The
Right.
daily
Then
leaderboards
that's
really
pretty
make it
good.
more fun.
It's free value too, right? Like
Yeah.
you probably got some more people. There's also a fish playing. What stakes are you playing? Because these guys can go find you, and like free soft game leaderboard. Like this seems like a win-win situation to me.
Yeah. It was very funny. I was playing a little bit. This obviously Corey is sitting on a very big hand here. Let's just see. Let's hope Nicholas doesn't get too carried away. Nicholas does have top pair, but he's got serious kicker problems.
I think
Probably
he got
just
saved
call
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only because Corey tried to bet 33% pot, trying to target the weaker hands. I do like it though. Corey was thinking, look, I told this to you before. He's blocking the hands that he wants to call, the queen and the jack. So he's thinking bet smaller, target those eights and stuff. But sometimes your opponent does still have that top pair. But you can see why he opted to do the smaller sizing. I think if he had just a queen X, like ace queen, he probably would bet bigger because more jack X is more like second pair than third pair. So these are things you think about, especially with more GTO play. You hear it a lot more. Like you want to think about your holdings, how they relate to your opponent's holdings, and go from there.
What do you do here with deuces in heads up? All right, apparently you go all in. Yeah. Would you do the same?
When you're down swinging, you just go all in and just hope you win the chips. But no, I think it's fine.
Okay.
It's never a bad play heads up with even 30 big blinds. Just you usually just ship it. It's hard, even though like you say when you get called, you're just flipping at best. The thing is, it's so unlikely your opponent calls in heads up, and a decent spot here. But I don't know if Corey is actually going to give too much more value.
Well, let's see what Nicholas makes it. If he makes it like 1.1, I think Corey might call.
I don't think you'll see calls in ace 3 offsuit. It's just too weak of a hand. I know like an ace is the best hand in heads up in general, but you want to think about the playability in 3-bet pots. If ace 3 offsuit, if he was going to continue, it'd be a 4-bet because it just kind of blocks some ace kings, ace queens. It just doesn't play well because even if you call, say you're up against a 10-9 suited, you don't flop an ace, you almost still lose the pot.
Yeah, but the wheel draw though. The wheel draw.
We've been due for like a longer heads up match, and it makes sense. It's the one where both our picks are in, and of course, betting this. It's like an equal amount of bets on both sides too. But the thing is, the odds are different. If you had bet on Lena 900, you'd be getting more value because Corey Aldemir came into the final table with a chip lead, was plus 270, 280.
Yeah, basically 3-1. Basically 3-1 for Corey and 8-1 for Nicholas.
Yeah,
the queen here is still good.
Nice call too, huh?
Let's see what Corey Aldemir decides to do on the river. Knows that he's probably not going to take it down.
Oh, okay.
Nicholas is good, man. Nicholas is good. King high.
Is he this good though?
Yes, he is. Nicholas is this good. I feel it. We've seen hero calls plenty of times. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
That's hard. I think with an ace it'd be a lot easier. It's always hard to hero it off with a king high. I mean, what's the... Ooh. This could be a fun one. Nicholas flops the open ender. Corey flops mid pair. It goes check on the flop. Would you ever bet if you're Nicholas in this position, or
yes? Like... When I see weakness like that, I'm definitely betting it's an over bet here, and I think that might get the queen 6 to just lay it down. That's the thing when you lose the pre-flop, the post-flop initiative, like you let your opponent just kind of get away with things in the big blind. Nicely done.
And Nicholas picks up a couple of the chips he lost in the hand before. It was close. Smelled it was no good, but the 8 high did get the king high to fold. This is indeed a battle. It's very fun as well. The very first week we introduced final table betting. Aces again. No action though.
That was a sweat. Did you see the emoji pop up? Yeah. Like we blocked the... That you were talking about that. Oh my god, this is the end. Corey's going to ship it. He's going to win the tournament. He's got 2 pair against 2 aces. Have you ever seen 2 aces win this spot? It doesn't happen.
Yes, the board pairs all the time.
Yeah, a 9 or a 5. It pairs and it's over.
No. A 7 or like running force. Okay, running force.
That's dirty.
Well, guys,
that would be dirty.
This is gonna go all in. There's no way. There you go.
My God.
2 pair versus aces. Nicholas Ostad needs to. I mean, that is a somewhat
He's
scary
saved.
card.
It's hard to lose your whole stack now. Now, if Nicholas instead put in one more re-raise on that flop, this tournament be over potentially for someone. But by just calling, I don't think Nicholas instead will lose all his chips.
Check,
And this is
check,
still
check.
he can still win this pot. It's gonna go check, I think.
Yeah.
Unless it's gonna
I
go
don't know.
block. It might go block bet. I don't mind it. Actually, I kind of like this play because if you are behind, it's against a straight, like a 6 or Jack 10, and if you fold to those hands to a turn raise, it doesn't really matter. You were drawing dead anyways. And a 2-pair would never raise you, but he's still gonna lose a ton of chips here.
Yep. There are 4 million chips in the middle of the table. Corey is gonna check, and Nicholas will most likely check back, and he will receive the news that his aces are no good. It could have been a lot worse, but this is obviously still a very sad outcome for the aces, losing against 9-5 suited. And Nicholas has some serious work to do, as he is now down to 22, 23-ish big blinds. Top pair against mid pair, things go from bad to worse for Lena 900. Need a miracle, Nanonoko. I think, speaking of miracles. Yeah.
I was going to say, quick thing is apparently there's like another YouTube stream of GG. So if you're still in this one and you still see blank, click that link that people are putting in the chat. That'll redirect you to the correct stream with what we're commentating on right now.
All right, and we are going to turn one of the other streams off. Just follow the instructions in the chat, and obviously we'll do whatever we can. But if you're watching the wrong stream, you can't hear us. Let's just focus on the poker for now, Nanonoko. I do believe we always record this, so there's always a VOD to go back for. The board pairs on the river. I mean, king high, pair of kings, excuse me. Pair of kings is still good. And I actually think it's maybe nice for Nicholas at the board paired, right? Corey may think that his 10 is good.
I mean, if Corey had a king, he'd be paying off too. He's going for the maximum value. Corey actually bet called the turn because he just min bet the turn. Got check raised. A nice fold from Corey Aldemir here. But I like the play from Lena 900. You got to go for the max value when you got it. And, I've learned that from Doug Polk, right? He always gets paid the maximum against Daniel Negreanu whenever he has a hand. It's not like he's paid like half pot. He just always bets the maximum literally possible.
I also like when things weren't going Doc's way in the earlier part of the session, as we have 10-9 and ace-8 battling it out. Some people were like, oh, you're just bluffing too much or you're betting too big. And the Doc is like, hey, listen, I've been doing this for a long time. If he makes big hands or he has a big hands, he's going to get paid off. That's just the way it is. That's the way I play. We'll see how it goes. And well, a couple sessions later, it does seem like Mr. Pork was onto something. And I think he's proving some of the people that were criticizing him in the earlier parts of the heads-up sessions wrong.
Yep, definitely agree. Corey is going to check and they say it is good. And this has been a swingy heads-up match so far, actually. It's a Chipley has changed a lot. We've had chances to close it out multiple times for, Nicholas Dell almost closed out the ace-king suited. Did not. Corey could have closed out the 9-5. His opponent just called the flop check raise, and we're still here. And this has been a long heads-up match so far, and the blinds are kicking it up.
Random question. Do you always feel like it's a great moment to pick up a proper hand, the very first hand, the blinds go up? Because I feel that people are more tempted to steal blinds. Like as soon as nil blinds kick in, pot automatically gets a bit bigger, and then you have a hand. To me, it always feels like a double victory because they will think I'm stealing, but I actually have it. You ever thought about it?
I think that theory applies even more when what do you call it? When you get to a new table, or when the break ends, or or the hand before the break, or right after the break. Like I think people notice a bit more. Especially like in live poker, when a new guy comes to the table, this guy's just 3-betting first hand. Like people are always suspicious. They think something's wrong about 2 kings and Jack 9. But are you feeling good about this? It's really hard to lose to Jack 9 on Queen 9 with 2 kings.
It is going to be hard, but I will never celebrate as early as you celebrate things. I mean, maybe that's the key to success, but the 7 of hearts obviously on the turn doesn't change anything. The kings of Nicholas are still good. Corey probably thinks that his pair of 9s is still good. And don't forget that ever since the blinds did go up, Nicholas raised raised, and now this hand raised again. So he's been doing it 3 hands in a row. And Corey may think that Nicholas is full of it.
Definitely one more call is at least coming for Corey Aldemir. Nicholas Estet, 2 kings. I think he should still value bet. Of course, you're thinking, of course, my opponent could have a queen. It would be annoying, but if your opponents are going to look you over mid pairs, you got to call. You got to make some value bets at 2 kings. I think you go like half the pot or a third of the pot.
I think 1-5. Okay, 2-1. Yeah. I don't mind it at all. And I think Corey has to call. I feel like if you thought your 9 was good, you're still going to think it's good. He's not putting him on a queen. I don't think you're really never putting people on kings in a heads-up match like this.
Nice.
Makes the call. Nicholas takes down a big pot. I like how he's cheering for my guy now. Nano is like, nice. And we have a Neil chip leader again. Nicholas is back in the lead. What a matchup. What a matchup.
I'm just loving this heads-up matchup. This is some nice value bets, some nice bluffs here and there. You know, like, I like to see good poker. And then I'm sure I'm always rooting for the guy a little bit more that I pick to win. But, like, you want to see good plays, the correct plays. This is what makes it extra fun and enjoyable to watch.
Both are basically 45 to 50 big blinds deep. Makes it very fun. I mean, Corey Aldemir is at 43-ish, 44. Nicholas closing in on 50. Actually, no, that's not totally true. 45. Close enough. Queen 4 is going to make a bet here. Nicholas instead does have bottom pair. Makes the call. Board pairs on the turn. It's hard to make a pair, especially in heads up. The ace is still good. I don't think Nicholas is gonna fold, but Corey gets there on the river. Makes a pair of 4s.
Free chips. Free chips. We're handing out free chips. No, I like the value bet of the ace deuce. You're not going to expect your opponent to hit a 4 on the river card, you know what I mean? Yeah, good match so far.
Another lead change. Now Corey is back in the lead. So we have 2 jacks battling it out with each other. Okay, Nicholas just takes it down with a little bit of aggression. Always feels good when you just fire your bet. You have jack 3. You're like, all right, got absolutely nothing going my way. I do believe that we have kind of sorted out the whole streaming thing. I think things are back to normal. We should just be live again. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but
yeah, we're all back now. Don't worry. I was in the wrong YouTube chat, so I'm like, no one's chatting no more. But I'm in the right chat again.
All right, ace-9 against king-8. Nicholas Osted made top pair, but Corey's got a gut shot, and he's got the backdoor hard draw as well. The 8, I want to say, doesn't change anything, but changes a little bit, because Nicholas feels even better about his king right now.
Yeah, Nicholas is going to go for big value. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's betting big. He's going to get looked up a lot, too. There's a lot of hands that can continue, you know, the queen 10s, the jack 10s, the king 10s, some queen jacks. So it makes sense that he went big. But ace-9 was never going to call any size bet on the turn card.
King 7 against queen 10 the following round. Neither player flops anything. We're playing for $331,000 for the winner. Runner-up gets $268,000. Nano and I are very invested in all the bragging rights. As Nicholas Osted makes a pair of queens on the turn. Things are looking up again for Nicholas. What a match. What a week to introduce final table betting, by the way. Knowing that there are like hundreds of people out there on the internet very invested in who takes down the high roller super millions this week. This is really fun to watch.
And the thing is, if you're one of those people that put in a bet today, you're just going to be like addicted and put even more money on it. Like you said, maybe the 100K is going to, on one guy, is going to come up a lot quicker. Pot size bet for the trip queens. You know, Nicholas still going for that big value. I like it. Didn't get paid off, but the line looks a little fishy in the sense that he would have got looked up light by like any pair if it was if Corey had it.
Do you think if he bets one big blind on the river there, that he gets called by king high?
Yes, but the reason you wouldn't do that is you let your opponent get away too cheap when they actually do have a pair. Like you know what I mean? Like say your opponent has like bottom pair or second pair. They're just going to call your bet. They're not going to raise you, and then you just lost so much value. So you need to think about the times like, sure, sometimes you want to bet smallest to get called by ace highs,
Yeah.
But you need to also think about the other situation to get paid off when they actually do have something too. And that's what we talked about. You know, Doug Polk, he bets the maximum when he gets value because he knows, like, yeah, maybe I could have got looked up by some bottom pairs if I bet smaller, but I want to get the maximum, the highest EV expectation. And that's how you win the most money in poker.
Yep. No, that makes perfect sense. Thank you very much. And that's a good explanation. Corey is going to bet his open-ended straight draw. Nicholas Osset has 4s. If he makes the call, he's going to turn a set. But he's like, you know what? I'm afraid that the straight still get down the river, so he's going to let it go. And I respect that, Nananoka.
Oh, 3 overcards. I want to hear I want to hear your explanation though if Lena 900 loses this tournament. You know, like that's the explanation I want to hear, Roddy.
He got unlucky. Corey makes trip jacks here on the turn. He's not trying to figure out how much can I bet to keep him around. He's going for the 30% pot size. Nicholas gonna let it go though. King 7, no good here. I mean, this has just been a very fun edition of the High Roller Super Millions, and we're actually closing in on another break. In 5 or 6 minutes, we would make it to the second break. No matter what happens, Nananoko. As a poker fan, I'm just satisfied today. This has been very fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, is it one of the crazier final tables we had? No, but it's just that extra element. It's funny how such a small thing of being able to bet on the final table changes things so much, right? Like and this is actually possibly the longest heads up match we've had so far. It's getting at least really close to it against two clearly strong players. Yeah, it's but this is what I feel like heads up matches are supposed to be like. They're not supposed to be over in 5 hands. You're supposed to be able to feel each other out, try to figure out like how to do counter punches and stuff. And this is what makes it really fun, especially if you're invested in some way.
Nicholas definitely getting a little unfortunate in this one. It went check on the flop, and on the turn he's like, well, if you check again, I'm gonna put in a little bet with my pair of 9s. We know that the jack 9 got there. Goes check on the river. Nicholas will receive the bad news, but perhaps the good news is that he could have lost a lot more chips there, no?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the hand was pretty well played by both players. You know, heads up is not every pod's going to be huge where you just lose all your chips. It oftentimes is kind of one of these 1 bets or 2 small bets, little value bets. But what you'll see is a ton of C betting, and for a small bet sizing. Small bet sizing often used in heads up because ranges are so wide. So you don't need to bet that much when they just always miss the flop, you know? So you just kind of bet a small amount. And King 8 got outdrawn here, but, you know, King 8 might turn the hand into a bluff.
Yep. That's $500,000. Corey had absolutely nothing till the river, made a pair of 6s on the river, but if he would put Nicholas on a 9 or an ace or a 10,
wow,
he's not good, but he makes the call. And that means that he will once again take the lead. We've had like 5 lead changes in the last 7 hands or something. It's like Nicholas, Corey, Nicholas, Corey. It's very back and forth.
Yeah, no, it's a good heads up match so far, you know? And that was a very nice call of the Jack 6 because, you know, if you don't expect your opponent to float the flop, you wouldn't call the pair of 6s there because, like, the board right now, there's no obvious bluffs, but in heads up, people are floating these high card hands. They're turning their hands into bluff. You're thinking about your opponent. And I think, normally you wouldn't value bet a flush here because there's an obvious full house out there. But I think Corey will because in heads up, people call up ace highs, kings highs. Yeah, you got to be value betting this 10-4 suited, and it's a nice play.
It's a pretty big bet as well. I think Nicholas is going to let it go. King high is just really good here. And could even lose to a worse king high.
And then watch Nicholas clicks call. He might. Oh, he clicks call. The nice description, Roddy. Nice explanation because he got that nailed it wrong.
I'm surprised that he calls there with king 6. Maybe
rewarded.
We can get some chips back here, though. King 10 against kings. Nicholas has definitely been getting a couple of premiums tonight. I think the third time he has kings. He's had aces 3 times. Now, it doesn't mean much if you don't get paid off, but I'm expecting him here to actually get some extra chips.
I think the hands played pretty good so far, both players. I know the king 10's obviously in a bad spot, but you can't. against a player like Nicholas Stewart, you're not going to be folding to King 10. If I recall before, too, the one Lena 900 got heads up in and lost, he was 3-betting like some really bad hands, and that heads up like 9-5 offsuits and things. So you can't be folding King 10.
So explain the King 6 call to me on the river, because it was a pretty decent sized bet. Like, why do you think Nicholas thought he was good?
He just thought his opponent was muscling. He knows his hand looks like ace high and king high, and his opponent bet bigger than half pot, so it kind of looked like he's trying to move him off the hand. I think, and Corey actually did pot size bet one of these spots not too long ago, and he didn't have anything.
When he folded the king queen, right? You mean?
Yeah, the king queen it was. So what's important is we're playing two strong players. They kind of think about hands a little bit differently than say your low stakes player. You look at the obvious low stakes player, and they're not floating me and making some sick plays. They're thinking about a lot of things, how their hand changes relative to the board. So maybe I need to turn my hands. It's a lot of things going on. It's a lot to explain, but it's really fun to watch. I'll tell you that.
This hand goes check on the turn, but Corey once again improved his hand. Was behind, but obviously the pair of queens is good here. He's going to try to send a little bet. Yeah. Let's see if Nicholas makes another hero call or not. This time ace high would be the wrong one.
I don't think so on this one. It just seems like a weak. Well. It's a weak hand to do it with. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm trying. You got a lot of better hands to call with than a6, in my opinion.
Like what I think of the previous hand, to go back to it real quick, is once again, it's like, even I feel like when you're right about king high, you could have the wrong king high. I know that's not very likely, but then I would much rather have a strong second kicker too. Anyways, as you guys can see, we have made it to our second break. Nano is going to be super dad. He's already off to the races. You can hear his kid every now and then. I think it's pretty adorable. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet. We once again apologize for the tiny bit of technical difficulties we just had over the last 20 minutes, but everything should be fine again. Hopefully you guys are all having as much fun as we're having. And if you did fire a little bet on either Corey or Nicholas, I'm sure that you're having a good time. And hopefully the final result, well, it's going to be good for one side, right? There has to be a winner, there has to be a loser. We're going to continue the 25th final table of the High Roller Super Millions in a couple of minutes. And we'll see you then. Stay tuned. Be right back. As you guys can see, the action will continue in 45 seconds. We are bringing you guys coverage every Tuesday evening, at least if you're in Europe. For Nano, it's always Wednesday morning, very early, of the High Roller Super Millions. Every week, we have been doing it for 25 weeks in a row, and it's been a lot of fun. And I gotta say, now with the final table betting, I think the fun has just increased by, I don't know, infinite amounts, Nano. Because I'll be in the running every single Tuesday. I promise you. I'll keep betting. I'll keep firing bets. I'll keep trying to pick winners. This is good, man.
Yeah, and you can see there the original odds before the final table started. 3-1 for Corey Aldemir. About what, 8-1? Is that what it says for yep. Nicholas?
Yeah. Yep. It was 8-1. And I mean, it's still pretty even. We've had like 7 or 8 lead changes in the last 15 minutes. Nicholas was obviously the overwhelming chip leader at one point, then lost the lead, was actually kind of short, but he crawled his way back up again to 8.5 million. And I feel like this will still go on for a little while. They're not letting the hands get out of control. We've seen a decent amount of bluffing. Obviously, we still have the Guess the Winning Hand Twitter contest running. I'm sure a lot of people are very invested in that. All you have to do is follow GGPoker official on Twitter, and they will send out a tweet each and every single week. And you can just reply to that. Corey is making a little misstep here. What is it? What's up with Jack 4 suited? You know, we've seen Daniel get out of line with Jack 4 suited. Now Corey is getting a little out of line as well.
Yeah, he's watching too much Daniel, just punting it away. But obviously good for your guy. They're still playing for a lot of money. You know, they guaranteed what, $2.5 million so far. Not 2.5, 250K. You said it right. Wow, that was a terrible way to say it. Pretty funny, but they're playing for a lot. And this is a real treat today. It's real fun so far.
This could be a big pot. Well, Nicholas makes trip aces on the turn, but Corey still has a pair of jacks, and obviously has the 9 heart flush draw as well. 9 high heart flush draw. Nicholas bets. I wonder what Corey does here.
Probably peel one more. Could be good. You got the backup for the heart like that, you know, like makes a lot of sense.
Checks. I actually think Nicholas checks it back, and he will check it back. Yeah, that's, I mean, the right play. Obviously sucks to lose 3.6 million chip pot, but if you don't have a heart in your hand, I think it's just too crazy to bet there. Makes sense.
So I'll tell you this, this has been one of our longer heads up matches so far, but what could come into play is the shot clock. 1 minute left for Corey Aldemir, and you know, like if this match just keeps going and going, that could really be some trouble for him. You know, Nicholas, that's what 7 minutes. He's been here 6 times, so he knows how to play some poker, right? He's like, I'm used to final tables. I don't need to take any time on my decision. Remember those 2 aces he played? He smooth called those 2 aces against RunCMD so fast. Pre-flop didn't even use a second.
Let's see what Nicholas decides to do here with this king 4. He picked up a gut shot. The 9 doesn't change anything, but Corey has been betting. And if he bets one more time, it's going to be very difficult for the king 4 to stick around. It actually goes check, check. And this time Corey does not improve. So king high is still good, but that is hard to know.
I think it just goes check, check again usually.
Yeah.
Corey knows that if he didn't bet the turn, he can't represent an ace. So he's just thinking, all right, I'll give it up. He can't bet every single time.
It's good news for Nicholas and all the people who fired a little bet on Nicholas Osted. I'm already excited for the next edition, man. I want to see who makes it to the final table. If Elke makes it to another final table, I'm going all in on Elke. No one else. Okay, I'm just
bankroll bet. There should be a bankroll button max. You just
Corey's gonna bet his ace 4, but Nicholas made top and bottom pair. You love to see it.
Do you know if there was like a maximum bet or anything like that, or a minimum bet?
That, but I was, instead of typing in the amount, I was scrolling and it went up really high. So I couldn't see it exactly. I'll get back to you on that. But as far as I know, you can go pretty crazy, Nano. I mean, I'm sure there is like, a max. There's always
Bill
a max.
Perkins just jumping on, you know, like he's just like max bet.
Oh my goodness, guys.
Wow.
No. Corey with the re-raise really doesn't have much going. I mean, he's got backdoors. We often talk about the backdoors, but that's the only thing. And Nicholas is just like, how did I get this fortunate? I am raising with top and bottom pair, and this guy is raising it up. Corey will get out of the way, but this was a big one. And Nicholas, for the first time in quite some time, takes a pretty big lead. And we've got 2 strong hands again. Ace-Jack suited against pocket 6s.
I think Ace-Jack suited can put. So someone definitely pick Ace-Jack suited to win this tournament. This could be over. Can he do it?
Will we get there? Oh my goodness. Ace, Jack, Queen 10. There we go.
Oh my God.
I mean, if it's not a 6, is this a 6? No, it's not. We chop it up. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We are going to chop it up with a full house on the board. Wow.
How did Corey Aldemir chop that pot? It was king, 10, 10. He really couldn't win unless it came 10, king, or 6, I guess, right? Like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. What's your heart thinking right now? Tell me, Roddy.
Mixed emotions, but I'm still feeling. I feel like Nicholas is a very good poker player, Nanoko. If you make it to 6 final tables of 25 editions, and obviously he's got a massive history in online poker as well, I'm not too worried, but I'm a little bit sad because I wanted to rub it in your face, but I got to be patient. I mean, you know, the good things in life, they don't come easy.
You know what I'm thinking too is that Nicholas Estet had Ace-Jack suited. That means someone 100% picked it to win, right? Like, there's no way Ace-Jack suited was not in the jackpot giveaway.
Well,
like,
it had to be Ace of Spades, Jack of Spades, of course. But.
Yeah, someone definitely. Spades is a very popular pick. Can you imagine a person watching, like, just celebrating, dancing all over the place, and just now has nothing?
That's a horrible beat. That's a $2,700 beat on the river. And now you're like, he could get Ace-Jack again. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. If someone out there did pick ace jack of spades and he was watching the stream, I feel for you. I'm just waiting for the pocket tens, mate. 10 of spades, 10 of hearts.
I mean, it's still possible. They got a lot of stack to play for. Ace 8. All right, let's see. Open it up. Oh, a bunch of nothing. Who's going to throw out the little C bet first?
You've said it a couple of times, but this has really turned into a pretty awesome heads-up match. Yeah. Definitely one of the better ones we've had so far. A couple of weeks, it was 2 hands, 3 hands, and sometimes you see it go on for a couple of minutes. Well, this has been a proper fight. And both players are still looking very healthy.
And this is a proper battle on this flop. It's the straight draw is, it's got some value. Actually, he checked back the pair flush draw. Did you see that? That's going to be sneaky if he hits a flush or like something. Wow, another check from Corey. He doesn't take the bait.
Yeah, but Nicholas definitely betting now. This is too good. Yep. Do believe that Corey Aldemir is going to make the call here. What about a good old jack of diamonds on the river?
That would
then we know that the jackpot will stay in there as well, because nobody predicted 9-3 of diamonds to be the winning hand tonight.
Wow, check raise from Corey Aldemir. Wow, this looks strong. The thing is, Nicholas has played his hand so sneaky that I don't think Corey's actually expecting to get called here too much. And he might just blast off the river card if another diamond rolls off. I think it'll be over. The 5 is... Oh, man, this is a tough one. This is a blank.
It really is. An absolute brick on the river. And what does Corey do now? I mean, if you get called there... Gotta be a little worried. Maybe he's like, maybe you've got a combo draw. Maybe you've got diamonds and 2 overs. He checks. Wow. And that is huge good pot. News for Nicholas.
That is a huge, huge pot for Nicholas Estet. And that tricky play got him a lot of value.
Nicholas, his stack now goes up to 12 million. That's where he was once upon a time. a long, long time ago.
Well, this heads-up match is so... It's like the biggest part of this final table because, like, I almost forgot whatever happened to the other 7 people. I'm just so invested in these 2 players watching, like they've been battling it out. Pot's been changing leads. Nicholas Estet he had him all in twice so far. Couldn't finish him off. But here's a lot of medium strength hands going at it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Makes the call, but that's not the river card he needed. Pair of 5s was good on the turn. It is no longer good on the river.
Yeah.
This is where Corey is like, please have a 6. Please have a 6. Please have a 6.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, the small bet is nice because if his opponent had a 6, they're going to feel obligated to raise, and you're going to get it in anyway. So you might as well bet smaller to try to get looked up by the 1 pair type hands because the 6 would always put in all the chips for you.
Let's hope Nicholas doesn't get too out of line, because Corey is sitting on the stone cold nuts. Nicholas wondering, is my 5 good here?
Yeah, Nicholas is trying to think of bluffs. It would have to just be some heroic random bluff with Corey Aldemir for the 9-5 to be good here. It's actually quite tough to find a bluff, in my opinion. I would think if my opponent was trying to bluff me off or something, they would bet bigger.
What about
but even then, ace four has a lot of showdown value, so it actually doesn't make sense for ace 4 to just bet 800K now, because they beat other ace highs, ace 3s and stuff. It actually makes no sense for it to be.
What about ace 3?
Even then, ace 3 has showdown value. That's the thing. I just really think he should be able to get away from this 9-5, but nope, he doesn't. Price is too good sometimes. Price is too good sometimes. It's a bait.
That's why that little voice pops up in your head. It's hard to make a pair. He's like, I've got a pair. Oh, well. Flops the flush the next round. Obviously, Corey shouldn't get too crazy here. He's going to send in a little bet of 1.5 big blinds. I like the smooth call.
That was sneaky. Because, he's been check raising a lot of bluffs. So, like, and then now he's smooth calling. Just trying to be a little tricky. And he loves that 10. Because he would think if his opponent had a 10, he'd just lose all the chips. But once he sees his opponent check, I think he knows his opponent doesn't have a 10. Obviously, a heart The Queen of Hearts is very strong heart. Try to get some value, but it doesn't work.
Well done by Nicholas. Back to 11 million. 9-6 offsuit. It's going to raise it up. So far, the pair of fives with Corey is good. It's just a nail-biter of a match. It just had to happen. The very first week, we introduced final table betting. We have one of the most epic heads-up battles we've had. We definitely had a couple of great ones over the last 25 weeks, but I'd say this one is at least top 3.
I would say this, yeah, it's this one and the Michael Adamo ones are the Michael Adamo versus Ibinger was real good too when Ibinger called down like king high to lose the tournament. But those are the ones that come to mind. Oh, I love the Connor Drynan versus the guy from Kazakhstan. That was an amazing one. That was the craziest one. But this one's is getting up there too. This is definitely one of the top matches out there.
Wow, back-to-back ace kings for Corey. Not something you hate to see in heads up.
10-7 suited is a decent hand to take a flop with. They are playing a bit shallow stack, so I'm not sure that's why he probably folds. But I think if they're playing more 30 big blinds plus, they'll probably see a flop.
All right. Queen Jack. Corey catching a couple of decent hands right now. Most of the time in heads up, you both have garbage. But, Nicholas like, enough, man. Like, how many good hands in a row can you really have? Corey's like, well, I've actually got a pretty playable hand here.
I think Queen Jack's a call. It's plays pretty decent. You know your opponent's 3-betting garbage, so Ace Jack 5. I think I should see a C bet. Man, yeah, Queen Jack going nowhere. It sucks because like obviously with King Deuce, once you bet these flops, you just almost have nothing to just keep betting on. Even the Deuce, right? You're like, well, do I bet again? Maybe he does. It would get a Queen Jack to fold sometimes, actually.
I do feel... I mean, obviously, we know that Corey doesn't have an ace, but Nicholas could very well think he has an ace, and then you'll never truly go anywhere. But I feel like the only bet that would really get Corey out of the way would have been an all-in.
It's hard to go all in now, though, because the 4, you're like, man, am I really just going to start shoving when there's a 4 straight out there? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and well played by Corey Aldemir.
And we've got another lead change. Corey Aldemir was down to 5 million chips, was down to basically 2 outs, but had a couple of chop outs on the river, got there, and all of a sudden, he is back in the lead.
And if I recall correctly, only Lena 900 has Corey Aldemir at risk twice. I don't think Corey has actually put Lena at risk in this heads-up match so far.
I think you are correct. King High is going to bet. 9-8 with the raise. Corey Aldemir catching fire. A couple of great plays. Got a couple of good hands before. Takes another one down. That was a good move.
Yeah, these guys are both making good moves against each other, going for these check raises and getting to work almost always so far.
Nicholas starting to be in a little bit of trouble. It's not that he is short stacked all of a sudden. He's just been losing a lot of hands in a row. And I think eventually that's going to affect maybe not your confidence so much, but it's just annoying. Nobody likes losing this many hands in a row. It's going to raise it up.
Yeah, obviously no one does, but all right. 4 hands and blinds going up too, so keep that in mind. That's when things are super dicey. 300,000 big blind.
Corey makes the call with bottom pair. Does not improve. Nicholas flop top and bottom pair. Well, it's no longer bottom pair, but he did flop it. How much we betting here, Nano? 800K maybe?
1.4 million. That's what I think. There we go. 1.4 million.
So good at this.
Nicholas would bet his draws this way. He knows he's got to go for value. He also knows a king and 9 are not folding, especially the way it's been playing so far. So he might as well go for the max.
Went for the max, did not get paid off, but does win a pot. It's about time. Cora's going to open up Queen 5. Nicholas will make the call with Ace 9 offsuit. Neither player flops anything. Don't really fold an ace here, right? Definitely don't fold an ace here, but I think even on the flop, I think aces are just too powerful in heads up.
You almost never fold an ace heads up and like on the flop, just unless it's like 9-8-7 or something, because you just have so much. You just have the best hand too often. especially against these small, tiny bets.
Nicholas will send out a tiny block bet almost. Obviously some value as well. Let's see what Corey decides to do. Corey's like, can I represent the 10?
Possible. I guess the question is, was the opponent fold the hand? Wow, he's gonna go for it. This is aggressive. Can Nicholas instead make this call? What do you think? I don't know. This is dicey.
I definitely think he can. Whoa, no, he folds. Wow, he folds the ace. Man, I'm a little shocked there. I did not expect that.
Roddy, it's funny because as he loses chips, your money goes away too. You're like, oh my god, he keeps making the wrong decision in some of these pots.
I mean, great move there by Corey. Obviously, an insane bet on the river, but did not expect Nicholas to fold there.
Yeah, I
think
it
also wasn't an all-in. It was like, even if he's wrong there, it wouldn't have been the end of the world.
He's giving his opponent a little bit, not enough credit to make a bluff there, in my opinion. I think it's a tricky spot, but I feel like you do maybe have to look that up because he bet so small. When you bet small, you really get people to bluff raise you so much more.
Yeah. Especially because there was a king on the board as well. Like, I feel like you don't have to worry about him ever having a better ace, you know? This is going to be like ace, ace, 10, 10, king very often.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. It was basically a 10 or nothing, though. I agree with you. You don't got to be worried about a better ace. But he's going to value bet this one. Going for an over bet. That's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, now he's back to 8.5 million, so it's obviously, you know, no man overboard just yet. What a battle. A heads-up battle for the ages here to see who takes down the 25th edition of the High Roller Super Millions. We've had 20 plus lead changes at this point. These guys are just tossing it around like they are playing hot potato. It's been really fun. Blinds have gone up, like you mentioned before. Big blind now 300K, 35K NT as well.
And 8 seconds of shot clock is left for Corey Aldemir, so definitely he's going to need to think real fast soon. And I think he's going to drain it out before this match is over for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't think we were necessarily going to get there when he had a minute left because I feel heads up plays so quick in general. Let's see what he does here with 6-5. Has the second not low, I believe, right? Only 3-5 is worse.
I look at a small bet. You know, you got to do these bets with your value and your bluffs.
Wow.
Like now, this is nice. That's such a cheeky little. That's a great price on a bluff. He's getting it done.
I mean, they've both been making great plays. But Corey's definitely been winning quite a few pots that he had no business winning, and you got to respect that.
It does seem Corey is a bit more aggressive than Nicholas Estet. But they both, like, if you say who's playing better, it's hard to say, but I'd say they both have played the best at this final table, hands down.
It's like you mentioned, the rest feels so long ago that I don't even know how the hands went anymore. I remember CMD really got out of line with his king 5.
Yeah, that's the only one who remember, the king 5 suited punt, and that's all I remember.
Yeah. And then obviously Charlie had a couple of crazy plays. Just like casually shoved king jack offsuit, 22 bigs under the gun.
Wow. Look at that play. Check raise the 9-6 offsuit and ace. And this check raise is actually not credible. But you can see Lena 900 with the quick fold. Lena 900, no more of a grinder. Corey's winning some extra pots. He really should not be winning, in my opinion. I know like his opponent didn't have much to continue with, but you think about some of these hands that Corey is raising with, like it's some garbage in some really garbage spots. Nice call.
Nicholas makes the call here with king 6. He's still good. Corey his aggression has definitely paid off. Seconds are going to tick down real soon. Loses 1 second of the shot clock. Keeps on betting here. Nicholas folds one more time. Corey is really starting to take control of this heads-up battle at this point. With just pure aggression. He really hasn't made any hands. It's just been nothing but bluffs, pure aggression. Wow, what a flop as well for the 8-5 suited.
Yeah, he can lose a lot of chips here. This could potentially be it, depending on how it runs out.
No, I'm with you. Corey is still in the lead, but he's definitely not folding either if Nicholas decides to go crazy with his 8-6.
Well, both people could win this pot, you know, like just depending on what happens. Nicholas is probably going to bet again, though. Oh, he checks. So actually, he saved some chips because I think he would have lost some more.
Yeah. I'm with you when you said this could have been it. Corey's going to take this one down as well, unless Nicholas can find a massive bluff, but he's not going to do it. He's going to let it go. Corey with the bluffs, man, has really kind of secured a very proper lead for himself. This is the most amount of chips that I think Corey has had all night long. Nicholas said, enough is enough. He's going to take this one down with a 7 suited.
There was a point when Lena had 15 million to 3 million of Corey, I believe. So, you know, it's not the biggest lead possible in a heads-up match, but don't feel too sad. It's not over, okay? It's not over yet, right? Your guy had it locked up. It's not over yet. He can come back. Don't worry.
Yeah, but that feels like it's over. And I'm sure that it feels like that to Nicholas as well. It's like, what? I had 1 million outs with ace-king suited, and then I pretty much had it locked up with ace-jack suited. And somehow we're here, and now he has a 2-1 chip lead over me. We'll focus on this hand.
Ooh,
oh,
nice.
Queen Jack makes the call, does not improve. Nicholas will check it back on the river and receive the good news that his pair of tens is good. Wins almost 4 million chippies.
I told you it's not over. See, he's back. And, you know, like the thing is, Corey Aldemir has got no time bank. So he was like, oh, man, you know, maybe he does a bit of a mistake with the Queen Jack call there because he had to act very quickly. These pots are huge, man. Like you've been saying, it's been swinging back and forth over and over again. You know, like Nicholas, it's already 1.3 million in there.
I mean, we haven't really been talking about it, but Nicholas really doesn't have that many big blinds anymore either, right? It's like 21, 22 bigs. It's like, sure, this is enough to make a comeback, but it's not enough to make a 7 big blind bluff and be wrong. Ace 5 against nines. This could be a big one. Do you just shove the nines here?
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think ace 5 is going to call. It's still 22 big blind. It's a lot.
It's a lot to call off with ace 5. Like that. All right, Nicholas back to 7.5 million. Queen 7 gets called by 10 deuce. Neither player flops anything. Nicholas with the c-bet takes this one down as well. And he's back at 8.1. All right. Looks a lot better than the 4 million against the 12 million we had earlier, or whatever it was. Ace 4 with the reshove over the top. I mean, ace 4 suited in a heads-up battle. Obviously feels like a monster. And if Nicholas wins this one, he has actually retaken the lead. Jack 4 suited. The clubs. Daniel's hand.
Well, Corey is gonna put in the 3-bet. Takes it. This is very, very close, man. Like, I really cannot tell you who's gonna ship this one. I really have no idea. It's just like not too long ago, Nicholas Stewart was clearly going to lose the tournament, but now he's like really in there.
All right, Nicholas Stewart with the Jack 8 offsuit. Gonna battle it out. Corey Aldemir is still in the lead. We have seen that these leads don't mean a whole lot. Nicholas taking his time here. Seems to be distracted by something. I don't know what could be more important than a heads-up battle of the high roller like, super millions.
Let's even out these shot clocks. You know, let me drain the 5 minutes and then I'll be right back. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe he's praying to something. He's just sitting out for a second. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I would have worried anyways because Corey Aldemir is not the type of guy to just steal blinds. So if he did have some problem.
Pocket fours apparently do not make a set yet. 7-5
I told
is
you,
taking the lead.
I've not seen those sets. It doesn't happen.
It is weird. I'm gonna record a few more clips for you.
Okay, well, it's hard for Corey to lose this pot. Very hard. I mean, to win this pot, sorry. Because, yeah, it's a nice pot. And then we're back to Nicholas Stewart with the chip lead, I believe.
Yes, 9.2 million against the 8.5. Jack 8 again. This time we are going to raise it up. Ooh. Action flop, perhaps? Action flop,
sure.
Nanonoko?
It could be that is an action. Oh, not action. That is a good turn for Nicholas Estet. But he can't really get. Well, okay. I was gonna say he can't get more value, but his opponent's actually betting into him and gonna throw away 1.5 bigs.
This is when you're praying, have an 8. Please have an 8. Have an 8. We know that's not the case. Nicholas above 10 million again, 10.7. Can Lina 900 finally win his first high roller Super Millions after making it to 6 final tables and allowing me to pick my second winner?
Well, I mean, he's got the chip. I can't. This is such a swingy heads up match. All right, here we go. We got the Queen 8 with a little backdoor stuff, but Corey's got bottom pair. We'll continue, and man, this is all Lina 900. How can he lose? This guy's just running. You can't get rid of a guy who just runs hot. It's running hot.
It's been so back and forth that I feel even if Nicholas has at this point 14 million chips, I'll be like, no, anything can happen. Corey can have 3 big blinds left, and I'll be like, this is far from over. Big bet here by Nicholas on the river.
Oh,
Corey
wow.
makes the call. Wow. Nicholas now above 13 million.
Now you feeling good? Are you feeling good? Because look at this. I don't think Nicholas Estet's going to let go of this lead one more time. Third time's a charm, because he did get it all in against him twice. He didn't close it out yet, but this time he can close it out. You finally have done it potentially. I don't know, man. It's kind of like you had your chance, Corey, but you're down here third time now. Ace Jack limp.
He's been here before, Nanonoko. This means nothing to Corey. He only has 2 seconds left on the shot clock as well. He's not going to lose this hand, though, unless there is a heart, I guess, on the river.
Yeah,
but Corey makes the Broadway straight.
So one more call coming, and that's it's not good for Nicholas. He might lose a little bit more chips, depending on how greedy Corey Aldemir gets here. I think Corey... He knows his opponent has a queen, so that's why he's going for this kind of sizing. Yeah.
Excellent bet there by Corey as he chips up all the way back to 7. No, 6.2, I guess. 6.2, 6.3 million. It ain't over till it's over. This is a heads-up battle for the ages. And even if Nicholas is taking a
2-to-1 chip lead, I just can't believe you're going to have 2 marks on your freaking choosing the winner thing. It is what it is, but you know.
No, why are you doing me like that? You know it's far from over.
It's not far from over, but yeah, I mean, of course anyone can win, but I don't know. Look at the ice cube in the fire. Do you see it?
That is something I do believe in. Well, Jack 8 did get kind of outturned here. As the 3-4 improved a little bit. Nicholas is going to check it down one more time. He's got Jack 8 offsuit like 3 times in the last 12 hands.
That's the thing you notice, the Jack 8 offsuit.
Yeah, because that's the hand he was sitting out on as well.
Okay. Should be all in, fold.
Yeah.
Actually, Corey's chipping back up. Wasn't it a flip-flop earlier where like Nicholas was down and he grinded back up? Like, I guess the matter of fact is that the blinds are just so big.
Yeah. Blinds are massive. Ace queen for Corey. He's going to raise it up again. Nicholas makes the call with 9-10. Flops a gut shot, but that's about it. Corey makes middle pair.
Well, 10-9 will continue. Turns a pair of tens. But it's also hard to lose a lot of chips here, given it's only second pair and third pair, you know. Okay, look, your guy's back. Hit the 2 pair.
Wow, that's a big moment to flop 2 pair, or actually river 2 pair. He's gonna fire forward 600K. Corey makes the call. Now he just bleeds down again to 5.4 million. Nanonoko, what is happening?
I think Corey, the time bank is really going to crush him soon. Like he's making quick decisions in spots where maybe he can get away. 9-6 offsuit. Okay, this is more grinding down for Corey.
In before 8 on the turn. When you start a flop like that, all right, no 8s on the turn. The deuce is very safe to Nicholas. I feel everyone that put a little bit of money on Nicholas starting to feel better and better as he takes this one down as well. And this is one of the bigger leads we've had in this heads-up battle.
Okay, this could be it. I think Corey potentially could just rip it in. King Queen's going to make the call.
King Queen makes the call. Here we go again. Can Nicholas get the job done? Oh my goodness, that is scary.
Oh, he can hit a
Another
spade.
spade? Do we have one more spade in the deck? We do not. And for the third time, Nicholas does not get there. Man, you cannot get rid of Corey. What is happening?
And he got it in good, too. Like the last two times were flips, I believe. But this one, he actually did get it in good. Ooh. Can't believe it's even again.
I kind of know, okay, because you've tried to congratulate me on my victory like 5 times, and you just always celebrate too early.
I mean, this is the way, you know? Like sometimes it happens. It's okay, though. All right.
Well, we're back to pretty much a dead even match. Queen 5 is going to battle it out here with 9-7. Nicholas makes middle pair.
All right, well, Nicholas is
call.
Way ahead here. Hard to lose this one, especially with that club. It's true, it's hard to lose this one.
Yeah, it is hard to lose, but okay. I was like, that's the Queen of Hearts. Nicholas gonna bet his 9, take down another pretty big pot. I mean, all these pots are big at this point.
Oh, is that? Oh,
that's my hand. That's my hand. I mean, he couldn't have won the tournament anyway. But...
Oh, but I was going to say, you wanted Nicholas to lose that pot. I know a part of you just instantly like, oh, that's my hand. Let's go. Jackpot time.
Yeah. That was my hand. But, I mean, you know, I've been cheering for Nicholas. But if Corey has to win it, then please win it with that specific hand, you know. So,
okay.
Check on the flop here. Corey makes a pair of queens.
I think Nicholas should probably still call King 10, depending on the sizing. The reason I say that is still it's the nutted straight draw. So he beats all the 10-8s, all those types of hands. And of course, he can still make the potential nuts. So that's why you did see a call there.
Does not improve, though. The Queen of Corey is still good. There we can see the shot clock turning red for the first time tonight. He has used up his entire time bank.
Well, he can't call King 10 here. Can he potentially just use the King of Diamonds blocker? That would be some sick bluff. I mean, he did check back a flush draw once. He made a call with King High. What was that?
I don't know. Poor Nicholas. I feel every time Nicholas hero called, he's been wrong. And then the 3 or 4 times where he should have hero called, he folded. And that's a big one. Now, Nicholas is the one who's all of a sudden down to 6 million chips. King 7 suited will steal the blinds. I don't know what that was, Nano. That was a big call.
Does Nicholas Estet realize that he's the one with 4 minutes and not 5 seconds of shot clock? Because he could have used a lot of time to break that hand down. And you know what? Yeah. If he still makes the call, then so be it. But I don't really see how he could take 10 seconds there and make that call with just King 10 high on that spot. I don't know about that one. I don't know. But
I don't want to think about it anymore, Nano. It hurts.
Wow.
Corey turned a 6 here. He's only got 3 seconds to make a decision. Makes the correct call, and he stays good on the river. 3.1 million in the center.
Corey called with just jack high on the flop, man. He turns the pair 6. That's a good call on the turn, too. Given the action so far. Oh, my God. Your guy has 10 big blinds. He can come back. He can come back.
I know he has 10 big blinds. No call. I mean, this has just been a truly epic heads-up battle. I think both players have played well, but I do kind of feel that Corey has been outplaying Nicholas in a couple of the key spots. And
for sure.
He went for the bluffs in the right moments. And
oh, nice. Oh, the timing is really good.
Yeah, Nicholas is down to 10 bigs, man.
It don't sound so sad. It's not over. He can come back. See, he's in it with Queen 4 suited. Actually, snap called 10 big blind. That's a huge call.
Oh, yep, there's the jack, and that means that Nicholas Osted needs to there's another jack. That's it. The 25th edition of the High Roller Super Millions is over, and Corey will be our champ. Walks away with $331,000. Nicholas Osted adds another 2nd place to his resume. Gets roughly $270,000, I believe. Roddy misses his final table bet, but I do believe that 200 bettors got paid $55,000 in total for the very first week. So a lot of people definitely felt like this is a very fun function. Corey Aldemir was the favorite coming into the final table because he was the chip leader by a decent amount as well. So the odds were 2.95. So if you would have put €100 or $100 on Corey, you would have walked away with $295, so $195 profit. He gets the job done. The chip leader, my goodness, he was on the ropes a couple times. Nanonoko, what an epic heads-up match that watch though.
I mean, that's all I can really remember from this final table. That heads-up match was a long heads-up match. They probably played over an hour, but it was swingy. They kept value betting, kept bluffing each other. These small pots were important. Lena 900 had Corey Aldemir on the ropes twice, right? Ace, coin flip, ace jack. Could have won it. Ace king suited against the 2-jack, but the ace jack one was sick because he was up against 2 6s. He got counterfeited on the turn, king 10 10, and the river card came a king, and we're just like, what? You don't expect that. You expect if Corey's going to win, it's going to be a 6, right? Not a king to chop it up. And then even the one hand, right? Corey Aldemir shoved 9-7 suited with 11 big blinds. Lena 900 calls with king queen, and he hits a flush with the 9-7 suited to double up again. And then I don't know what happened at the end. Something happened. Lena 900 had 5 minutes of time bank. He called a turn bet with king high. Then he called a river bet with king high. He took less than 10 seconds. I think that was a big misstep because those 10 big blinds are very important at that stage of the tournament. And then actually the very last hand, he did call correctly with queen 4 suited 10 big blinds, but I don't normally see people just snap call or shove with queen 4 suited for 10 big blinds and heads up. Was that a little bit of, maybe he was getting a little bit tilty at some point? Like he had him on the ropes multiple times. He's just like, you know what, I'm going to call you king. I don't know. It seemed like it fell apart. Maybe in the end, it was really just, if you haven't won it in 5 times yet, how are you going to win it on the 6th time? Because this was his 6th final table. He's had an impressive resume, 2 second places, obviously the 6 final tables, but like he couldn't get it done. And Roddy, you can talk about all the bets and stuff. Oh, by the way, I did pick the winner. That shift is super. Just a reminder.
I know. This is the most undeserved Nano picks the winner in the history. I mean, sure. First of all, you went for the lame choice, the guy who had by far and away the most chips, the chip leader. Then second of all, you were on the ropes and almost defeated 3 times. But I do gotta say, even though Corey obviously got lucky in a couple of big spots there that he stayed alive, he did play very well and he picked his moments right. I mean, the couple times he went for the bluffs, it just worked. And he took down a couple of pots where he had like almost the nut low, the second nut low. Made a lot of good plays. Definitely a worthy champ, but it's got to sting a little bit for all the Nicholas Osted bettors out there. 288 people, I believe, bet on Nicholas Osted.
There was like about an equal amount of bets on both sides in a heads-up match. That heads-up match was very intense. $10,000 roughly for both. Like, yeah, it's Lena 900. That second time also he got second place. The first time he did, he could have closed that tournament out too, and I believe he lost the lead multiple times. It's the same thing happening. He's probably thinking, why can't I ship a Super Millions? He doesn't have a golden ribbon around his name because he can't finish this tournament. But he's obviously a very impressive player. Very good.
I've got a question for you. You often say that you obviously expect these guys to watch the stream as well while they're playing the final table. Do you think that their hand where Lena folded the king queen, where the king queen was good but he got bluffed on the river, do you think he watched that, and do you think that influenced the king 10 call later down the line where he was wrong?
I do think 100% they do watch the stream, and it does influences their play because like they're like, oh, he's actually taking spots to bluff it. I think Lena called with king high one time or something and was wrong. Not just the king 10 one, but a different spot, smaller pot too, because he saw his opponent pot size bet bluff. In these one, he's check pots. So like the thing is, when you watch the stream, you see your opponent how they play certain hands. Just one thing you got to remember, and actually even pros themselves make this mistake. Your opponents know they're watching. They adjust. They know like, oh, I did this time. Maybe next time I do this move. And then if they don't think about that, you're going to make a big mistake because you're like, oh, he overbets bluffs all the time. So next time you overbet bluffs, he's got to be bluffing. And then he shows you the nuts. They know they're being watched. they mix things up. That's why balance comes into play in GTO and, you know, the duck poke stuff, you know, like, yeah. The king 10 call, I think it was a little bit of a punt personally. Yeah, you got the king, the nut flush blocker, but like it's not as important in the more the stacks get shallow. The blockers, they're important, but he also had a 10, which is actually a bad card to have, believe it or not, because he blocks all the straight draws he's trying to pick off, the jack 10s, the 10-8s, and I don't know why he didn't take much more time, because I think if he took much more time on the shot clock, he would have realized that he blocks the flushes, but he doesn't block, he blocks the hands he's trying to catch. And when you realize that, you'll realize that king 10 there is probably not a call.
I think it makes sense. You already said it, Nano. It feels like most of the focus and what we will remember of this final table was definitely the heads-up match. But we had a couple of other fun players. I mean, Charlie had a couple of wild plays. He was all over the place, but, you know, he definitely gave us some entertainment. And then I think I will always remember RunCMD, who didn't start off as one of the biggest stacks. So we kind of expected him to be chill, ladder up a little bit. He was doing that. Then he won a pot and he's like, King 7 of diamonds, baby, let's go. And he just gave Nicholas a set, the full double up. Or King 5, yeah. Well, whatever it was. I mean, he was out of line. Yeah.
He lost it all. He gave your guy hope because you remember Leona 900 had 900,000 chips at point, almost shipped it 3 times. And he's out. I don't know. It was a fun final table, Roddy. I know you're a little salty. I picked the correct winner. You didn't win your bets. Actually, your bet was looking really hot and really good. I'm sorry that I maybe semi-jinxed him a little. Did I early celebrate? No. I just call it as it is. If I think he's going to win, he's going to win. But he didn't win. It happens. It's just like aces.
You said it like 5 times. You're like, that's it. I'm like, no, that's not it. No, it's never it. Until I see 100% and the other person with 0 chips, it's not it, okay?
But next week, what are you going to be doing, Roddy? You're gonna be on that final table looking to put some bets in. Is that right?
Absolutely. Just want to remind you guys one more time. This was the very first time we had final table betting. This tournament always takes place on the Sunday evening, Central European time. It starts around 7 or 8, and they play down all the way till the final 9. And as soon as that's done, it may take like 30 minutes, 1 hour, but then the final table betting will be up. You just got to find the tournament in the GGPoker lobby, click on it, click on the table. There will be a pop-up immediately, and you can put in your bets. I know what I'm doing Monday afternoon, Nano. I'm opening up that table, and I'm going to crunch some numbers, and we'll figure it out. Hopefully, Alki makes it, because then it's easy for me. I'll just put my money on Alki. But oh, well, that is going to do it. I think another fun edition, and it's really cool to see that GGPoker just keeps stepping up their game and finding ways to make their entire client just better and more fun.
Yeah, definitely agree. And yeah, I guess that's it, Roddy. But they can still tune into that Daniel Negreanu challenge here on this channel.
Yep. If you guys subscribe and turn on your notifications, you'll see that they will be live again tomorrow. I especially think the Friday streams are pretty fun because then they often bring on Amanda Negreanu as well. It's kind of cool. They all have some cocktails and they're just chatting. But yeah, I will keep my fingers crossed for a Nana Noko Kekiti combo, okay? I know that both you guys, maybe not necessarily the host, but who needs a host? I mean, you guys can just talk poker. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I really look forward to it. Any other Battle of Malta stuff coming up for you this week?
I think Battle of Malta's over.
Okay.
Yeah, we just did the main event. Unless there's like a second main event that I don't know about. But, oh, speaking of main events, though, World Series main event, that's underway, I believe, real soon. That's fun. It's just too much stuff happening these days, Roddy, but GGPoker has got most of it covered.
It's never too much. Well, that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the 25th edition of the High Roller Super Millions, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Bye.